no, that's not really fair because she'd have to get off her ass for me to notice she was working, but that's not going to happen.
So my plan is perfect.
Your plan.
It works for both of us.
Working like a charm, man. I'm just here to tell you.
That's a long-term plan.
It's all true. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. I got a haircut, baby.
You look sharp.
What do you think of that action?
Did you do this one on your own again, or was this did you go somewhere?
As a matter of fact,
You can tell he went someplace. It looks nice.
I'm going to tell you something, but I don't know how to say this name. Maybe somebody can help me. I think it's either Deep or Diep, D-I-E-P. Mm-hmm. You know how to pronounce that name? You ever heard that name?
I don't know.
You have no idea how to pronounce that. But she's a woman. She's over at Barber's in the Park on Minnetonka, 7128 Minnetonka Boulevard. I was driving around, and I had a little time. I had some meetings over at Hubbard, and I had about an hour. So I went, well, what the hell, man? My hair looks like crap, so let's go get a haircut. Just happened to drive by Barber's in the Park, went in. I had to wait for just one person to clear out. It was terrific. She cut my hair in about 12 to 15 minutes, and it was $20. Mm-hmm. When's the last time I paid $20? When's the last time you paid $20 for a haircut?
Last time I paid $20 for a haircut, I went somewhere, I will not mention where, and the second I walked out, I was like, I paid $19 too much for this haircut. It was so bad. In fact, I found my new barber because I had to get it fixed. That's how bad that $20 haircut was. But your haircut looks amazing.
I know.
And I'm telling you, like 12 to 15 minutes, like, hey, welcome, goodbye. She was very pleasant.
I wrote down the place for Justin because he's always getting mad. He goes to, and he likes it, like sports clips.
Yeah.
And he likes it just fine, but the waits
The waits can be long.
Yeah.
All of a sudden he'll jump online and it's like 3 days till the next, like 400 minutes until the next appointment, which is fine. It's obviously popular, but I want that number because he's always.
Did you write it down?
Yep.
Okay, good. I just would like to learn how to. I should have probably asked her how to pronounce her name, but when you do that, it's like, so how do you, B-R-I-T-T-N, how do you pronounce that?
I know, and especially if
Bright Nye?
What if she goes, it's Diep, like the way it's spelled, and you go.
Could be Deep, could be Diep, could be Depp, like Johnny Depp.
It could absolutely.
Does anybody know how to pronounce that name? D-I-E-P. She's an Asian woman. And I love it when people do this too. They meet an Asian person and go, well, she was Vietnamese. Well, how do you know she was Vietnamese? Settle down.
Yeah.
Whatever. Oh, you got your categories, do you? Good for you.
And you're guessing at other people's categories would be
Right.
the most daunting. What? No, thank you.
That would be a problem. But
Yes.
it was I'm kind of locked in these days about positive experiences because there's so much crap going on in the world now. These people could not have been nice. Although the one thing I get a little touchy about because it used to happen in my old neighborhood, the older Italians, like the Italian grandfathers when I grew up, when they didn't want you to know what they were talking about, they'd speak in Italian. So you wouldn't know what they were talking about. It's like, trying to pull a fast one.
So I jumped onto YouTube real quick to see if I could get a pronunciation for the name, and D-I-E-P, this is how they pronounce it.
Diep.
Well, so it's Diep.
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 Yeah.
Okay, Diep.
It's like diet, but with a P.
Mm-hmm.
Diep.
Diep.
Thank you for looking that up because she, like I said, very, very professional. She wasn't like she was busting her ass to get it done. She's just that good.
Sure.
She wasn't messing around with any shit. Very, very pleasant. But the only problem I got is, and I don't think it was a problem, and it's from being a little kid and the Italians talking Italian around you to try, so you wouldn't know what they were talking about. But you learned after about 3 weeks anyway because it kept repeating the same words, so you know what they meant. But about half the time she spoke to me in English, and the other half the time she spoke to her relative or son or friend or whomever in her native language. And again, I don't know if she was Japanese, Chinese, if she was Vietnamese, whatever.
Yeah.
So Diep, does it say what kind of name it is?
Nope, it just gives the definition, or the pronunciation of it, that's all.
Well, the reason I wanted to bring it up is because, well, first of all, Brittany said, hey, your hair looks really nice. And I said, this woman did an amazing job. And I do like promote. It's a small business. I mean, that's the thing about it. It is a small business on the corner there, 7128 Minnetonka Boulevard. There's nothing in it for me. She just was so great, very pleasant, $20. So you know what? She was very, very cool because I gave her 40.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
You're going to charge me 20, then I'm going to duke you another 20.
That's
Why not?
pretty legit.
How terrific is that? But
I'm
no,
going to go in
great.
and go, Tom actually gave you double the paycheck, so I'm going to go ahead and put Justin in this seat.
Yeah, exactly. Cut Justin's hair too, will you? That's a good move. I like that move.
Thank you.
That's a good one.
Scum of the earth kind of move.
Well, it kind of is, but we can't worry about small things like that.
I got some messages from people that you were in Hubbard.
Oh, God, this ought to go swimmingly.
I don't know what it is, the wake that you left, the ripple effect.
Let me say one thing before you do that.
Yeah, of course.
Did you get Bernie's email?
I've gotten a lot of emails from Bernie.
Oh, because it was sent either late last night or early this morning.
Yes, for the guest for next week, I believe it is. Yeah, I emailed her. Yeah, for sure.
You want to talk about an impressive human
Wow.
being? Woo!
Yes. So when I emailed back, I said, I don't think I have enough printer ink to print off all the accolades this young lady has. She is an inspiration. I'm getting goosebumps.
Oh, yeah.
just
I know,
thinking
but
about her.
give
Yes.
us something here. You guys are giving
Nope,
us like
it's only Rudy and me. You're out of the mix.
give.
Blocked.
What does she do? What
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
First thing that I was told she did. First of all, she's got a great personality. She presents herself very, very well. And I know some people get pissed off. Well, you always got to talk about people's looks. Well, if people are striking, you go, that's a very striking person.
You guys are burying the lead.
No,
What is her?
no, here
what
we
is her
go.
industry? Give me something.
She's a golfer, and she does a podcast. And here's the best part. She's, I would say, a very average-sized woman. She's not, you're taller than a lot of women, that kind of deal. But she's about a pretty average size, 5'6", maybe taller than that. I don't know. But she, at 14 years old, tried out for the high school golf team in Illinois, in DeKalb, I believe it is. She was so good, she made, and this is going to sound derogatory again, back in the old days, whatever. She played so well, they put her on the boys' team.
Dang.
Now, the reason there's a difference there for people who don't know about golf.
Huge difference.
Men tend to hit it a lot further than women do.
Oh, they have different tees even.
Exactly. So for her to make the boys' team to play for the boys, I've never seen her play golf, but everybody I talk to just raves about what a great person she is, how smart she is, how pleasant she is. She's driven.
Here in Minnesota?
Yeah, she went to the University of Minnesota.
And she's still here?
Yeah. Matter of fact, we're going to have her on the show.
I'm so excited. And how old is she now?
22, maybe.
Okay, because I was like, are we having a
Maybe.
14-year-old on the show?
Hi, Tom.
I'd be fine with that. She sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. What's her name?
Emma.
Her name is Emma, absolutely.
Emma Problema.
Emma has a problema. I like
Which
it.
is us.
Ooh, good podcast name. That should be your podcast
That is a good
name.
podcast. She
That
does
was-
have a podcast. So
Emma has a problema.
That was my Spanish name. My name was Emma, and they made you a last name.
no, that was enema. That's a different word. Totally different.
But my teacher hated me so much when I told her my name was. I was like, I picked Emma.
I love that.
And she goes, well, then your last name's Problema. And I was like,
problema. I love that a coworker said something that I've said to many, many people. Yes, and my teacher hated me.
yeah, right. She hated me. And it was so bad, Tom, because my stepbrother, Mike, who was like the perfect student, was in my same class, and she didn't know that we like lived together, and he was my stepbrother. So when my mom and stepdad came in, they had the same last name as him at a conference, and she was like, "Oh, Miguel is perfect. Miguel is this." And then after like 20 minutes of talking about how great Mike is, my mom was like, "And how's Brittany doing?" She goes, "Emma Problema is your kid too."
Emma problema, baby.
I was like,
I love that.
yeah, she did not like me at all.
Gee, I've never been through that.
No, right? Very
What?
relatable.
Oh, my teachers. I don't know that I ever got along with one teacher I ever had. I mean, like in high school, junior high school. The nuns, they were pleasant enough. And
Were
whatever.
they?
They were to me.
Okay.
I was a lot bigger than they were, so I think maybe it had something to do with
Or
it.
they'd say, he's a lost cause.
Well, that's a possibility. Let's just give up on him.
When you'd walk by, they'd just like flick some holy water on your back and go, ooh.
Actually, I can't remember her name, but my 7th grade nun teacher at St. Anne's made me go home, and I said, "Why do you want me to go home?" And she said, "Tom, look, you're a young man, but you need to learn this today. Your pants are way too tight."
Dang.
She apparently could see the outline of my schwanz or something. I don't know what the hell. I was like, what? Why would you be looking there anyway?
She would literally die if she came back today and saw
That
the
it's
level
all gone.
of...
It's just gone.
No,
now?
I was going to say the level of tightness men's pants is
Oh,
now, yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
She would like,
Oh, yeah.
"Ah."
She would have a hard. So yeah, you made me go home because my pants were too tight.
Dang.
I said, how about my? Well, I almost said it, but I didn't say it. There were certain kind of boots back in the day, and they were kind of a derogatory Italian name.
Okay.
But we won't bring up what it is. But you know what it is, don't you?
I just remember back in northern Minnesota, there was a group of girls from a certain town that we called Chukkas
Chukka.
because they used to wear what was called a chukka boot.
Oh, the Chukka boot. Yep, I remember those.
I don't remember. All I remember is that we called them that, and then someone said, "You can't say that." I said, "Well, what do you mean?" They're like, "That's derogatory." I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And then come to find out, it was just about a boot. Because sometimes I think people put. One time I said,
Chukka boot, yeah.
I said, "Hey man, let's call a spade a spade." And somebody lost their mind. They were like,
No way.
You can't say that." I was
Oh,
like,
for God's sake!
Have they never played cards in their life?
"Yeah." I was like, "What do you mean you can't call a spade a spade?" They're like, "That's racist."
Oh,
I was like,
Jesus.
It is what it is. That's what it means, right?
Should you
And they're
change
like,
it to like
Yeah.
a club?
Yeah, I did. I was like, okay, great, sounds good. So yeah, but
Well, it's you two people's party. You better take care of that, huh?
Our two people's parties,
Me
like
too.
we have a party.
Yeah, oh God, like you don't have a party.
Like what? Me and Rudy meet on the weekends to talk about our
With all the other commies in the state.
affiliations.
All the other commies in the state, you hook up and.
Just because I want you to pay for things for me doesn't make
Oh,
me a
it
commie.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Brittany and I are part of the party, okay?
Yeah,
That is what our party
hell yeah.
does. We party.
Woo!
Yeah. Did you just do what I thought you did?
Fake flash.
You are filthy. You're a
I got
filthy.
one solid boob. I can only do one.
You have one solid.
The other
Was
one's-
the other one mushy?
The other one's looking somewhere weird.
Oh, it's got you're cross-tittied.
Yep.
Well, that's what they used to call
No,
it.
I just
It's got
I'm
like
glad,
cross titties, man.
I'm glad somebody put a name to
Yeah.
When
my
I was
problem.
a kid, I didn't do it when I was a kid. Because if one woman's breast leaned, they would call it cross titty.
Oh,
Her boobs look like hacksaw Jim Duggan's eyes, just
There you
all
go.
over the place.
looks like one of those
Wandering.
googly-eyed toys you play with. One's just kind of looking left, stuck. That's what happens
It's
when
a
you're breastfeeding.
wandering deal.
But one's great. Like when me and Justin are ready to go, I'll just show him one, and I'll be like, "Just cross your eyes."
yeah.
And he's like, "Oh
like
yeah."
it.
Yeah, it's like one of those
Double
3D
vision.
things you have to cross your eyes for, and you can see a schooner.
Oh, that's right. God, I forgot about those.
Then we just put a partition right there, and we make
A
love.
mirror.
A mirror.
Jesus, you guys.
Gotta
You're
talk
filthy.
Gotta talk about my text I got about
Oh, that's right. You got some text.
you
I forgot.
walking through Hubbard. You're making an impact.
I was over at Hubbard yesterday meeting some very, very pleasant people and Amy and Dan. See, I took a shot there at the end. You see
what I
that?
did. Dan must have been walking in place because he had good walking numbers yesterday.
Did he really?
Yeah, he's killing it. So I was living my life. I get a text from Lori saying that she had met you
Probably
and
should say Lori who.
Lori from My Talk 107.1,
There you go.
where talk is fun.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's a blast.
Glad to hear it.
And she said that just met Tom, big smiley, happy face. He said to come on the show and give me hell. Plus, he knows Bobby Barghini, which I was like, of course, you guys know somebody in common.
Who's that?
Bobby Barghini is an old friend. I used to play baseball, basketball. I used to play sports with Bobby.
Oh, gotcha.
Really good friend of Gelfand's as well. Just died about a month ago, maybe two. Yeah, it wasn't very long. I have a really hard time with that because I said, God, remember a couple of years ago when so-and-so died? Yeah, well, he died about 12 years ago.
Yeah, someone just brought up Heath Ledger passed away like 15 years ago, and you're like, what? How?
I know.
Yeah.
But Bobby Barghini was one of the nice, handsome Italian boy, one of that kind of deal. Played a lot of sports with him with, Bo and Cliff Siegel and all those people. Played a lot of sports together. We had a radio and records softball team that Bobby played on. You could not meet a nicer man than Bobby Barghini. He's just a great guy, very giving. If you needed help, Bobby Barghini was there for you. Very, very sad. Just went in for his checkup, and now he's gone, man. It's very, very sad. Not very old either. That's the other problem.
No, he's like 70.
I didn't even know he's that old.
I thought he was, yeah. He's
No,
not-
you're probably right. You're probably right.
I mean, that's young in my mind to die at that age.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
And then Julia had message that said, "Can't wait to hear you talk about Tom because she listens all the time." But then Grant,
thank you.
Grant, he's a little he's in like me. He can get in his own feels.
Sure.
He wrote me. I have to read this, okay? Tom came by the studio today. Amy brought him over to say hi to me. It was while we were doing Lori and Julia show, and Grant is the producer on Lori and Julia.
Yes, right.
And he wrote, it was such a cool moment for me. I felt like I was a kid at basketball practice, and Michael Jordan came to watch my practice.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
Here we
You
go.
guys, I
boy.
believe him, too. He's
Where's
so
my
an
wallet?
emotional kid.
Yes.
I got to
Weird-
track my wallet down after.
Weird to say that, but it's true. I fell in love with radio because of his show, and to have him see me working is the ultimate life full circle. I'm still on cloud 9, and I had goosebumps for 10 minutes after he left. And I love, because I'm Miss Emotional. Like, I love it. I'm a vampire of emotion. Like, give it to me. Especially men, when they start giving me emotion, I'm like, and how did that make you feel? So I, of course, was just like, that's awesome. Good, But he was super impacted by you coming in there.
I had a day yesterday because when he did, I teared up a little bit when he said that because he did.
Yeah.
It's like, can you stop doing that, damn it?
Yeah.
Twice yesterday, I went through that. So I had dinner last night. I won't say where I was because it's not important, but I ran into 3 old friends, 3 nice Jewish boys from North Minneapolis,
Ayo.
Plymouth and Penn. These guys have been friends forever. And I'm going around the table, very happy, because I hadn't seen a couple of them in a long time. Running around the table, shaking everybody's hand and saying hello and all the rest of it. And I can't say the kid's name, so I'll just say it's Billy, because that's not his name. Goes, Tom, I used to love it. You and Billy used to play golf together all the time, just hang out and all the rest of it. You know, he died.
Oh, my
Like,
God.
oh, Jesus. And he was not very old. And so to see a man in his, he's probably, well, I didn't say his name, so I would say he's close to 80. Mm-hmm. And he started crying. And those moments, man. So I had 2 episodes yesterday where people made me cry.
I know. Well,
Cut it out.
It was wild when I first
Knock it off, damn it.
when I first went over to My Talk after KQ. Grant was like, "You, Brittany, from KQ?
Oh, I know.
What is Tom like? What is he
What a
like?
prick.
What does he look like? Like, what is he? Wish he knew what you look like, but he was like, what is he? He just, he had a million questions. And then anytime I would be like, well, yeah. And then I used to, what, when you came in, just give me a play-by-play of your everyday. He loves, like, he is a collector of things. And so he just loves that stuff. And he loves radio so much.
Yeah, I understand
And you
that.
were his biggest impact. So you have to keep in mind, like, you coming in while he was working was like, holy cripes. That was a big deal to him.
And to be honest with you, not one prick in that whole building. At least I haven't met one. People over there are very, very nice, man.
There might be 1 or 2
Yeah,
floating around there.
one or 2 assholes over there.
Grant is definitely not one of them.
Oh, great guy. Very nice man.
When I worked with him, he would get used by a few of those assholes you're talking about so badly. And I'm like, Grant, you have to stand up for yourself. You have to stop doing all this work for free. These guys are just using you. And he's like, I'm not going to take it anymore. I was like, Grant, tomorrow you'll be doing the same.
You're going to take it.
And finally, he grew a backbone with these people and was like,
Yeah.
I'm done. And then he went
Good.
over to My Talk, and he's having the time of his life.
Yeah.
And I said, good for you, man. You deserve it. He's such a nice guy.
Yeah, that's great. I love Grant. And yeah, so Lo J really loves you.
Low J, so there's J-Lo and Low J.
They're Lo J.
All right, I'm glad. It could not have been a better experience. Everybody was very, very pleasant. Had a great time. Ran into Johnny McMonagle, talked to him for a while. He's got a window in his office.
Ooh.
Big shot that he
We
is.
do too.
We do?
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, that's right. That window, the window between the two we chose not having windows for a reason. Because if you have a lot of windows in a place like this, you're going to get echo like a sumbitch.
Yeah.
No matter what that's why there are no windows in this place.
Well,
that I like to hide.
Also, radio people get distracted very easily.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a building not too far from here where there's a radio station, and I remember having to work there, and I'd be on the air with people, and I'd go, hey, stop looking out the goddamn window. We're trying to do a show here.
Well, I got to read this because Bernie Lauer, who's the director of sales, for many shows, including this one. He sent a message about Emma coming on the show, and Rudy responded, "Geez, Emma, I don't have enough ink in the printer to list off all those accolades." So you not only said it, you printed it out. So
Absolutely.
That's good.
Yeah, she's great.
You're
Wow.
gonna love her. You're gonna love.
I'm
she's
excited.
terrific. Oh, you really like her. And see, that's the whole thing. Oh, okay, let's start off, ladies and gentlemen. We talked about 3 things this morning, and not one time did we mention hating anyone or disliking the way someone's views or what. We looked at positive things like what a nice person Emma is, what a great person Dieppe is. Was it Dieppe? Now I lost it again.
It's like diet with a P.
Diet. Oh, that's right. I got to remember Diet. Dieppe.
Here.
Dieppe is her name.
My friend Tori cut your hair one time years ago.
Oh, wild.
And she's, you might remember her, but she's blonde, filled with tattoos all over her.
Where did she work?
She worked in West End, actually. It was
Rooster.
Roosters, yeah. She worked there.
Yep, I know who that is.
But you strike me as a guy that would have a go-to, because I think people who are put together have like a go-to person for everything. They have a go-to barber.
used to.
Yeah, and it's funny that you were kind of a nomad when it comes to the haircut. You kind of bop around, but it sounds like Dieppe might be the ticket here, huh?
Yeah, she's terrific.
Great.
Honest to God, I just, like I said, first of all, in and out. I don't, as Brittany pointed out, I'm not going to sit there for an hour waiting for your chair to clear. It ain't going to happen,
Yeah.
right? There are a lot of great barbers. There's Dick's Barber down in Edina. It's another great place. A lot of really good place to get your hair cut.
I love having people like go-tos that I feel comfortable with.
Yeah, no, I agree with you completely. It was just a very, very pleasant experience. Yesterday, I met a lot of people over at Hubbard. That was wonderful. Met Emma. She's going to come on the show. Went to Dieppe, got my hair cut. I mean, I just had one of those days yesterday. And then you get home, and I say, you better check out and see if anything happened. I turn on the television for about 8 minutes, 4 here and 4 there, and it was nothing but puking hatred. When are they going to stop with that? I have heard their numbers are just plummeting. Is that true? I think on both sides they are.
I wouldn't even know. The last time, I mean, it must be in the sense that, like, we never have that on.
Good, because
Yeah.
I only do like literally minutes a day, and I can't watch it anymore.
Well, people aren't shackled to their homes anymore. COVID's over. We're out and about.
Yeah.
And even like with this stuff with Trump that came out over the last couple of weeks, I feel like it's a big story, but people just really aren't paying attention to it. I get that there's a few people out there that are invested, but for the majority of it, like, I don't think that... You would think if this was 5 years ago, people would be going bananas right now.
They would, yeah.
And for whatever reason, it's just, you're right. So people must just be like, listen, I just need a break. I
agree.
I need 6 months away from all this stuff. Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, absolutely.
I used to try to watch as much as I could, and it just got to the point. The smugness of these assholes on top of it. Oh, my God, you people. You're a pretty face, and I'm talking about the boys and the girls here. You have no talent whatsoever. You're not that bright. You're just cute. I mean, really, you're that arrogant because you're cute? I've got some bad news for you. A couple more years, you ain't going to be that cute.
Yeah, cute only gets you so far. Ask any actor in Hollywood. who's
Exactly.
Getting a little long in the tooth. Sorry, fella.
Exactly right. But no, I just had this wonderful day yesterday. Saw many friends, ran into people I hadn't seen in a long time. Lori yelled at me because I wouldn't talk about her nipple business on the KQ Morning Show 30 years ago.
As she should. How funny
Oh,
is that?
as she should.
Why not? Why not? If you're going to yell about something, why not fake nipples?
What are you talking about?
That's what her product was.
Do you even know what it was?
Do
why
I?
would you
Body
have-
Perks. It was on Sex and the City. It was huge.
Why would you want fake nipples?
Because you got to watch this episode of Sex and the City. It was
No, I don't.
okay.
Believe me.
Well, the idea of it is accentuates your nipples, and it's the idea of it just kind of like peeking out. It's kind of like a power move.
Did God let you down?
I mean,
Yeah, it's like a little wink from your boobs.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what's going on there, fella?
Look, I even got a big nipple.
there you do got solid
I
nipples.
got solid nipples, man. Look at that nipple right there.
Must be nice.
I don't need any fake titties from Lori. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, no, you have to get their backstory and that it's hilarious.
No, I heard that it was very
And
good. And
it-
everybody, Catherine really likes both of them, I think.
Oh, when they go on about when they created this, I mean, it's wild. And they gave me a pair, and I was like, thanks. And now it just sits on my in my closet, and I go, someday I'll just rock those at Kowalski's.
Did you like glue them on, or what did you
No,
do?
they just sit there. They're like little cups. They
But
can
what
just
do
sit
they
nice.
have? A suction cup then?
No.
So how do they stay on?
She's like with a bra, like just sits in there.
Oh, it's inside the bra.
Yeah.
Oh, so you can't go braless with them.
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you have a tight enough shirt, you can easily go braless.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
But yeah, it was a whole. I mean, it was so funny because Lori is the creative marketer, and then Julia is Miss Paperwork, and so it's just like this ragtag team that created this product, and then they just went to market with it, and they just were everywhere for a while.
I got some bad news for Lori though, because she said, I was so mad at you when you wouldn't let me on your show.
Yeah.
Bad news for you. That was Hamilton, not me.
Either way,
I'm not responsible for what Hamilton does.
no, I know. I knew it's so long ago that it's just funny now.
No, I understand, but
Yeah.
but I don't know why she thought that I was the one that said she couldn't do it.
No idea. And I even told her too. I was like, Tom never did the booking, but I mean,
Never.
But it's very funny that when she would walk around being like, he wouldn't let me on to show off my nipples. We were.
I know. It's like, good God.
We were dying laughing. We call it the double wide, where they do the show prep. They have this like two-person cubicle, and we were just dying laughing with Lori's vendetta of who wouldn't let her on to talk about her nipples.
She does have that. She's not Italian. She's married to an Italian guy because she's married
to Julia's brother.
Yeah, Julia. Oh, that's right. She's
Yeah.
married to Julia's brother, who was Bobby's cousin.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Bobby Barghini was their cousin.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
Great family, man. No, I will tell you honestly, and from top to bottom, every person I met over there yesterday could not have been nice. And it wasn't like they were never told I was there. It wasn't like, hey, when Tom comes through, at least be nice to him. It wasn't like that.
Good
at
luck
all.
telling Loj to do anything they don't want to do. They're
Yeah.
that's why like it's so funny where I get along with them so well because they're like you. They're blunt and they'll say what they want, and so if you're like, be nice to Tom, they'd be like, what is he, a puppy? Shut up, we're fine.
I am a puppy. It's all a Saint Bernard, huh? Get it? See it?
See, why don't we lean into that more?
What's that? The Saint
Because
Bernard
the
part?
spelling is different.
Yeah, it's a BER. That's true.
But like that'd be a cool mascot for you.
Oh, so Jude's out of the mix?
No, I don't mean to go
No,
buy one.
she just killed off Jude. That's really nice.
killed Jude.
Yeah, he's out of the picture.
Boy.
You need a dog, Tom.
It's not even 8, and I've done a lot.
We'll get you one of those mini barrels that they wear around their
Yes,
necks.
yes.
Yeah.
We can put we
Absolutely.
can put Diet Pepsi in it.
Did you see I brought a half a case in today so you can filth off.
I don't
what's it
touch
called?
your diet. Look at this.
Pilfer.
Look at
That's
this.
He
I
brought
don't
What the hell
bring-
is that?
I'm just double fisting my own
what's in
liquids because I don't want to start any
Wait a
sort
minute.
of World War II.
What's in there?
Water, coffee.
Oh, Jesus. You're going to have to pee about 80 times a day.
Got to get them steps in.
That's true. It's all true. All right, we better take a break since I was supposed to do it about 15 minutes ago. But other than that, don't worry about a thing. As a matter of fact, I'll do the weather into the break. We'll be right back after that. Hazy sunshine, brighter skies later this afternoon as the thickest smoke pushes through the metro. Thank God my eyes burned like hell yesterday. High of 80, partly cloudy, comfortable tonight, a low of 54. Then tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high of 83. And on Saturday, partial sun with a few thunderstorms possible. They always say that. You know what? I'm going to start doing 2-day forecasts. Because even 3 days, they always say, oh, it might rain. Yeah, well, it might not.
Yeah, it's kind of like black tie optional. It's every day it's black tie optional.
Exactly. So it is sunny. It is, I'm just going to check, 60 degrees right now. It was 59, but now sunny and 60, but it's going to be very, very pleasant today. The afternoon smoke should be gone, thank God, with a high of 80. Very, very pleasant. We'll take a break. Be right back in a couple of minutes.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers, and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Do you ever Google yourself? Are you happy with what you find? Or is it cringy? Are you a business owner or on your company's marketing team? How do you feel when you Google your own place? What do you see? A non-updated social media page you don't even remember making? Ads for your competitors? An old-school website with outdated information? Hubbard Interactive can help. They can do it all for your business. They're a Google Premier partner, so they can use search engine optimization to get your click results higher. They can build a 21st century website for you that communicates all the right things all the best ways. They've got a photo and video department to make your business look sharp, plus social media, influencer marketing, podcasting, and more. All the things that will make you a lot happier next time you Google yourself. Here's a Google search that you'll find rewarding. Hubbard Interactive. You can see all the marketing tools they've used on hundreds of successful businesses, including an extensive gallery of the great work they could help your venture with. HubbardInteractive.com. Building campaigns that connect.
The new Tom Barnard Morning Show is proud to have partners like Bradshaw and Bryant, MyPillow, and North American Banking Company founder, chairman, and president, Mike Bilski.
I've advertised on Tom's show for years, and the reason is simple. My business is recognized because of the ads, and that recognition has created growth. What business doesn't want to grow? I highly recommend the Tom Barnard Morning Show for your advertising.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner.
Back at it, ladies and gentlemen. They already sent us a, what are the radio awards called again?
Marconi?
Yeah, they already sent us a Marconi for that first half hour, so we just got it in the mail. Very quick delivery.
I'd like to thank Beverly and, of course, Jesus Christ, who's with me every day.
Jesus Christ. That's a different Jesus Christ.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay.
Totally different when somebody goes, Jesus Christ. That's not like Jesus being with you.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Jesus Cristo. Did you go through that?
Jesus
Jesus
H. Christ.
Cristo. Jesus H. Christ, that's right. Was that for holy? Is the H for holy?
I was, even when I was saying it, I was like, I know he's going to ask asking me if I know what the H is for. I have no idea. Maybe his middle name was like Henry.
Jesus Henry Christ. That's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is kind of sad. I looked at this headline, and I know this is going to sound really weird and all the rest of it. I don't know if I want to read the story first. Americans say they need $2.2 million to consider themselves rich. I got some bad news for you.
Yeah.
$2.2 million is not rich anymore.
Isn't that wild to think about?
It's just not.
There was a guy from, I think it was New Hope or Wyzetta or something, and he got drunk on an airplane, and there's video of it, and he's screaming at the flight attendants, "My parents are worth $2 million." It's like, great, so your parents own a house in Richfield? Like,
You're
who
right.
cares? $2 million bucks, dude, who cares?
I was listening to the song, "If I Had $1 Million."
Bare Naked Ladies, yeah.
And I was like,
As a mofo.
I would be like, I was like listening to it, and I was literally thinking, because the lyrics are like what he would do with $1 million. And I was like sitting there with Go-Go singing it to her, and I was like, we'd probably do this exact thing, what we are currently doing. Like, it's not what it used to be.
Well, let me just throw a little quick one by. By coincidence, one of the reasons you're not rich when you're worth $2.2 million. Remember when I went to the hospital for that eye thing?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm obviously fully covered with all that stuff, the whole deal and all the rest of it. That 3-hour visit cost $12,000.
Yeah.
$12,000 for a 3-hour visit.
Bit take, holy buckets.
What is that all about?
It's like college. Why do we have to charge this much?
Exactly.
I don't get
Insane.
it. My daughter, they thought my daughter had epilepsy around the age of 9 months, and it wasn't epilepsy, but we spent about 18 months or so in and out of Children's Hospital. The first visit, when we finally, well, actually probably about the third visit, when they actually put her in the hospital, into the epilepsy ward, and they had all the electrodes. I have a picture of her at 9 months old, and she's got on the, God damn it.
Oh my God! Don't get emotional. I'll get emotional. Everybody think about something else.
I know, baseball, Roseanne Barr, anything else. I'm sorry.
You can't get emotional. I'll get emotional.
I know, because I think about that picture with my daughter, and she's got like all the electrodes on her head. $45,000.
Oh, yeah.
45 grand it cost.
Did you have insurance?
Luckily, we had great insurance. But out of pocket, I think altogether, it ended up being about $2,700 out of my own pocket. Yeah.
I mean, I have the best insurance on earth. It's the best. It still cost me $4,300 in cash.
Yeah. Isn't that
$4,300 to go for. It's like almost $1,500 an hour.
Yeah.
And okay, without tapping into the memory, and I don't know if you want to mention it, did it all end up being something she'd grow out of?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we basically had this doctor who I called Dr. House because it was just like the TV show.
I love that guy.
All of these doctors were telling us what it could be. It could be epilepsy. It could be this, could be that. This guy walked into a conference room with us, and basically after all these doctors left, he's like, I know what's wrong with your kid. And he said, we're going to put her on this medicine. And this is after a year of us trying to figure it out. And he put her on medicine. In 3 days, we had a brand new baby.
That's phenomenal.
Oh, baby, you can't leave.
Yeah, and he said...
Both of you go home for the right sake.
I've never seen Rudy get emotional. And, you guys, I'm a wreck.
Yeah.
The three of us are all wrecks. So far, we're 1 hour in, and all three of us have started tearing up.
I know.
That's great.
I'm so glad I don't wear makeup.
Yeah. Sorry, I never do that, but I think about that picture sometimes, and it gets me because
Absolutely.
And I remember after our day 2, finally I had to go back to work, and I was doing afternoons at the time, and I got on the air, and I was like, hey, to the Minnesota State Legislature, how about we just make a diamond lane for only people who are nurses at Children's Hospital? They deserve their own lane of traffic because they are the best people.
Oh.
That's a good point to make, and I do want to make that point, too. The people at the hospital, the doctors, the nurses, all of them, phenomenal, did a great job. It's the owners, like everybody else, the hedge fund people.
But I just went to lunch with they're both named Emma, with 2 nursing students I used to go to school with, and they are so compassionate. So they're going to be nurses in a year and a half, and you go, wow, our future is so bright when you have moments like that. Like, these women are going to they're just great people. Nursing still brings great people to the field.
Oh, it does. There's
Even
no doubt
with
about it.
all this negative stuff, at the end of the day, man, I went to school. I had about 25 other kids in my class, and they were all just passionate, beautiful people.
I agree.
And I was like, yes, at least we know that that's going on.
I just can't believe that, though. 3 hours totaled 4-5 G's an hour.
Yeah.
I know. Well, you had a lot of tests done. I mean, I'm not saying that much money worth.
No, I understand.
But...
And like I said, great care. The care
you
out
were
there
over
was
at 212.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was indeed. It's just like I said, it's the people who hold the ownership that are just jacking up everything.
I brought Go-Go over to 212, and then she actually got a bill in her name for the appointment. And I was like, well, it looks like somebody's going to go into debt early because I don't think she has a card, so suck us.
Yeah. It is crazy when your daughter gets a credit card. They send her one. They're like, "Hey, you were approved for $12,000." You're like, "My baby is 19 months old."
Yeah, there you go.
She get approved for a credit card.
Go, we're going to Lulu.
One of my favorite stories I've ever heard. It's a friend of mine, and I don't know if it's important, but for probably people it would be important. She's a black woman in America today. She's a dear friend, and she's got a real edge to her, which is, I suppose, why I love her so much. She's just wonderful. She had to take one of her kids to the doctor. That was not here. It was a different state. And she took her kid to the doctor and presented her all the cards, all the coverage, and blah, 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 blah. And she kept receiving these bills. Now, you guys would love this woman. She would take the bill, put it in a bigger envelope, write a note that said, "Yeah, I ain't paying this. Tell Obama to pick it up."
It's just so funny. It's also a lot of work to
How great is that?
Yeah.
Tell Obama to pick it up. The black woman in America today, baby. Isn't that?
That's so funny.
See, that's such an inner city thing to do. And once you kiss my ass, once you pay for it.
That's so funny.
And she didn't pay it, by the way. They didn't come after her, thank God, but she said, "I'm not paying this. Not going to happen."
Maybe they sent it to the White House.
They sent it to Obama. Yeah, exactly. Michelle, hey, by the way, Barack, you got a letter today.
Yeah, right.
He's looking at his bank account being like, "What the hell is this?"
What the hell's that $17,000?
Michelle, have you been at the hospital again? What the hell?
I love that I do that. See, well, you know this because of my mother. I've always been attracted. My sisters, too. I've always been attracted to very strong women who do things like, blow it out your ass. Yeah. How about that? Take that home with you. But in any case, as we segue away from the fact that it is depressing as hell that $2.2 million is no longer considered rich.
No.
But I see why. So average house now is what, about $350 to $400? I'm talking about your average house. Or is that a low end deal now?
I don't know. I feel like it's hard to get in a building or a place under $500,000.
Well, that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
And I know obviously there has to be lower ends of things, but if you want to be within, like, I don't know, 20 miles of the Twin Cities-esque, or, you know, between somewhere Minneapolis, St. Paul, holy buckets, price houses are crazy. What is, Tom, you might not be in this conversation, what is life-changing money? Like, what is that?
You mean if the people aren't trying to steal from you?
No, but like what? Well, yeah.
There's a lot of that going on, I can
like,
tell you that.
And that's kind of, it's empowering to think about it too, because you go, okay, life-changing money. Well, what would change my life? Like, what would make me feel motivated to move or be different? I think it's a huge number.
Yeah, it probably is.
Well, you know, when I sold my first house after I always say divorced, but after I got divorced and we sold the first house, the realtor wrote me a check for more money than I had ever seen. Right. And I'd always thought when I was younger, I'm like, when I get money, I'll be happy. And no joke, I had that cashier's check in my hand on my way to the bank, driving down 35W, and all I kept thinking is, I am just as miserable at this moment right now than I was when that guy handed me the check. If anything, now I have more stress on me about how I'm going to try to keep this money. And I think when you say life-changing, unfortunately, people who win the lottery, they don't have money skills. Yeah. If they had money skills, they wouldn't be playing the lottery.
Isn't that so true?
And, you know, for me, when I got that check, I told myself, this isn't life-changing money, but it's path-changing money. And that's where where I was like, I have to start making better choices about my money. And since then, and we sold that house, you know, whatever it was, 12 years ago. And since then, things have been very well for me financially. I'm not rich by any means.
But your mindset
But my mindset changed with money. And that's what you really got to do, is because even if you only have like $4,000 in the bank, that's probably not a bad place to be if you're smart with it. Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, it felt, there's a time I remember when I had saved around $5,000 and I was elated, and I kind of started asking around, like, what do you say? How much money do you have in your savings? And you find out that a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck, which they have to, and that's totally fine. But no, you should definitely. Those are huge wins to have any amount saved for a rainy day, or just in general. It's hard to save money.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I suppose we should segue into some commercials here, because the next person we're going to bring on is flat ass broke, and she'll be all. If we go right to her,
she's going to ask for money.
You know, she's going to be one of those.
Sounds about right.
She's doing her little dance. That works beautifully. We'll be right back. Kristyn Burtt, the lovely and talented Kristyn Burtt, will join us right after this. As you know, my friend Mike Lindell has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of your life. He didn't stop by simply creating the best pillow. Mike created the Giza Dream bed sheets. They look and feel great, which means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Mike found the world's best cotton. It's called Giza. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. Mike's Giza Dream sheets come with a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. Giza Dream sheets come in a variety of sizes and colors. Mike's latest incredible deal is the sale of the year. For a limited time, you'll receive 50% off the Giza Dream sheets. You will receive a set for as low as $29.98. Go to MyPillow.com and click on the Radio Podcast Square and use promo code TOM. There you'll find not only this amazing offer, but also deep discounts on all MyPillow products, including the MyPillow 2.0 mattress topper, MyPillow towel sets, and so much more. Don't have to tell you this part again, because I don't know if you guys know this. I'm talking to the two of you directly. Yeah. Our listenership tends to be, they do very well. Like, you know, they have good jobs or they make a lot of money or whatever.
Must be nice.
We got a lot of listeners like that.
Yeah.
And I've talked to, I don't know how many that told me, oh, I don't use promo codes. I'm like, you do realize then they wouldn't know that listening to this is why you bought them in the first place.
If it makes them feel better, use the promo code, and then they can send me the money they want.
I see. You've always got a solution.
Not a problem.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, you're welcome.
And by the way, I was still laughing last night about what you said yesterday about The Office. You know, I'm not superstitious. I'm just a little stitious. That is one of my favorite lines.
So good.
I thought about that all day yesterday because of you.
We're going to get you a mug. I bet they make something.
Okay, go to MyPillow.com and make sure you use the promo code TOM. Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Corey Wisco of the Wellshire.
We're so grateful for their support and just the fact that they truly believe in what we do. They took the time to get to know us. They have faith in what we do, and it's just been a great partnership that's just always been based on success. They've always had our back every step of the way.
For more information about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com. That's nabankco.com. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The new Tom Barnard Morning Show is proud to have partners like North American Banking Company, Bradshaw and Bryant, MyPillow, and attorney and advertiser Dave Bielke.
I've been advertising on Tom Barnard shows for years. I like Tom, not just because he's a good guy, but because the ads I run on his show bring me new clients that are hurt at work and need legal help. Tommy B works for me.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner.
You heard me, ladies and gentlemen. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kristyn Burtt, KB2, as she's
I'm
known.
here. Good morning. You know, I was thinking while you guys were talking about what it takes to be wealthy, I've had to do a lot of coverage lately on Jeff Bezos.
Oh, yeah.
And how he's hanging out this summer on his new $500 million super yacht, while his new $175 million Beverly Hills home is constructed. But if they do return to Los Angeles, they are renting Kenny G's Malibu home for $600,000 a month.
$600,000 and whose house is it?
Kenny G, the saxophonist.
He made that from playing a flute? Or whatever the hell that is he plays?
Sure.
I think he bought it. I'm going to guess he bought it in the 90s. So it was probably at the height of his career. And he's hung on to it. And I know he has done really well in the rental market, renting it out to clients like Jeff Bezos. And he rents it for $600,000 a month. It's a huge amount of money for him.
You know that I went for a walk about 6-7 years ago. We were on vacation down in Florida, went for a walk. And neither one of these two knew who I was, so it wasn't like they'd remember this at all. But on the same walk, I ran into Kenny G, and then a little further down the walk, I ran into Yanni. Remember Yanni?
Oh, wow.
It is like Light FM right there.
Yeah, Light FM. I was walking on the Light FM beach, apparently. I what the hell? I ran into both of them within like 20 minutes of each other.
That
like,
is
what
so
the hell?
strange.
I know. It was like you're in an elevator the whole time.
I know. Didn't they both have long hair? Too?
Yes,
I know
they
Kenny G
did.
But I think Yanni did too.
Yes, they did. And size probably about small to medium shirts.
Like their poet blouses too. I always feel like they're
yes.
puffing things, and there's
They
always
do.
like wind blowing when they play.
Yeah, they like I said, they would have no idea who the hell I was, but I did walk past. I will. And by the way, they both had bodyguards.
No.
Oh yes, walking the beach. Well, I suppose he wouldn't call them bodyguards. They had attendants, I guess is a better way to put it.
An entourage.
Yeah, they were being guarded. I will say that. There's no doubt about it.
I don't know if in 2023, if I tripped over Yanni, if I would know that was him. I'm
Probably not
sure.
anymore. And that might have been longer than 7 years ago when I saw the two.
Yeah.
Maybe it was. Well, we were just talking about that. You know, he died 20 years ago. I'm like, what? I thought it was like 3 weeks ago, for Christ's sake.
I know. It's like I feel like since the pandemic, I have a weird time warp.
Yes.
I was on set the other day, and my cameraman, I was like, so I just saw you 2 months ago, and we were trying to figure it out. He goes, yeah, I feel like I just saw you. I saw him last September.
Yep.
We were thinking it was just a couple of months ago that we saw each other, but.
Okay, I got to run this by you because the rest of us have talked about it already. Americans say they need $2.2 million, consider themselves rich. Can you find a house in L.A. less than $2.2 million?
No.
I didn't think so.
No. Not one to live in, anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
What to do.
Like a fish house, maybe.
The average home, and I am being super honest about this, and I'm talking about if you bought like what would be considered back in the day like an entry-level home.
Mm-hmm.
And in California, that's 2-bedroom, 1 bathroom, because remember, these are old homes.
Right.
You're looking at about $1.5 million. And it will need renovation.
Yeah.
And most of those homes are not available to ordinary people because developers buy them because they're usually on double lots because if you move to California, you want outdoor living. So oftentimes you have an outdoor living room.
Sure.
But they will buy them and they will build the mega mansions on top of them. So it looks like instead of having this nice big lot with outdoor space, it looks like the mansion ate the land it is on. because they get rid of the front yard and then they extend the house all the way to the backyard and then put in like a little lap pool and then put in a huge guest house.
So you buy one of those, pretty much considered a low-end house in L.A., and a car for you and a car for your husband, you're out of money. That's $2.2 million. I mean, it's like, good God.
Mm-hmm.
You get it, and a lot of people will use, especially in cities, they're like, okay, I'll start out with a condo. A one-bedroom condo. One bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Probably about $500,000.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I mean, we're in a 2-bedroom condo, and I bought a long time ago. The equity we have in it, I look at that and I'm like, this is ridiculous because I shouldn't have this amount of equity in a condo.
Did I talk about my grandson's shirt yesterday?
Nope.
It was his birthday a couple of days ago, so we bought Seiji a new shirt.
Ooh, nice.
And I got to learn to grow up here and start acting like a human being. This really cool shirt and would fit him perfectly. Oh my God, I just loved it. So we grabbed it, bought the shirt, all the rest of it. So we're gonna wrap it up for his gift. $75.
For a kid's shirt?
For a 5-year-old boy, $75 that shirt cost.
What happened to Target? $10.99.
It's like, what the hell? It's a shirt, for Christ's sake. I guess I better start looking at tags before I buy anything now.
Wow.
That thing better fit him for the next 10 years.
Honest to God, it looks great on him, fits him perfectly, all the rest of it. But I was thinking, like you said, 10, maybe $17 somewhere in there.
Yeah.
$75.
That kid gave me the best hug yesterday.
Oh, Seiji.
He gave me,
Those
we've got
kids
this
are very
long
loving.
hallway.
Yep.
And when he turned 5, right?
Yes, he
He
did.
turned 5. So imagine this 5-year-old revving up before he goes down the hallway. And I was at the way end. He runs all the way to me. And I was like, this is the best hug I've ever gotten, Sage.
They're very loving kids, both of them.
I was in Chicago doing shows with a friend of mine, and she was pregnant at the time, about 7 months, and we were walking down Michigan Avenue. And they got this baby store there, and I was like, oh, let's just pop in. Maybe find a onesie or something.
No.
There was a onesie in there. I'm not kidding.
No.
$299.
I want to slap you.
She said
that they will wear for 2 weeks.
And I said, well, let me guess. I was like, this is just a little overpriced. She goes, I could buy 299 onesies for that price.
And as you should buy 299 onesies. Because they will poop on it, and they will, like Kristyn said, grow out of it so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm sure people go, oh, your dad's on the show right now bitching about having to spend money on Sage.
Nobody's saying that.
Well, some people will, I guarantee.
Everybody's going, I can't believe you went ahead and still bought that shirt.
But I didn't know.
Yeah.
It was after I bought it, because I looked at the bill and went,
I would have been like, take that thing off right now.
Yeah. The clothes I'm wearing, including shoes, hat, sweatshirt, undershirt, everything, it doesn't equal $75.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Well, maybe my shoes do. Maybe my shoes were
I
more
could lie to you guys and say the same thing, but I'm not paying $75 till Go-Go is done growing.
Yeah.
I guess I'll have to check the price. And again, it's, he's well worth it. I'm not saying he's not worth the $75
No, he isn't worth
shirt.
it. He's
Oh
fine.
my God!
What could a T-shirt do for
What
could a T-shirt do for a 5-year-old?
All the chicks were hitting on.
Well, then take that thing off. Okay, my baby Sage.
I'm sorry, where did you buy this T-shirt and where is it? Because if he's getting chicks to hit on,
exactly.
I'll take 4 in the same size.
Down after the show.
Full run, full tilt. It'd be unbelievable. Kristyn, last night, Catherine, and I've been here talking to Brittany about it all morning. I just cannot believe how good The Office was as a TV show. My God, that show is funny. We went back and started at the very beginning, and our favorite line, Brittany, you got to deliver the line, because this is Brittany and my favorite line from the entire run of The Office was Steve Carell.
Yeah, he's doing a confessional, and he's like, I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious.
Now, that's a brilliant line.
It's so funny.
Good. I love that it's been discovered by another generation.
Yes.
It was one of the most popular shows. And I don't know if everyone remembers, it started out at the beginning of the pandemic. It was still on Netflix. So when everyone was in that lockdown quarantine period, that's where a lot of people just said, you know what? I need comfort television.
Yes.
The Office was the #1 show that people ran to. That and then Tiger King?
Yeah.
Tiger King, that's right. I forgot about Tiger King.
By the way, Joe Exotic is running for president. Did you guys know this?
Ask not.
From prison?
From prison. He is running. He's running for president as a Democrat. But by the way, he's already said he will not, if he's elected president, so this is a campaign promise, he's not going to pardon Donald Trump because Donald Trump didn't pardon him.
That's right.
No
he asked
good.
Donald Trump for a pardon. I do remember that.
Yep.
I
He's
do
holding a
remember that.
grudge. So if you guys elect him president in 2024, just know Donald Trump will not get that pardon.
I will never financially recover from this.
Yes. That poor girl had her arm ripped off, and he's like,
Yeah.
oh, man, I'm so screwed. It's like, what about the girl whose arm is just laying on the floor right now in a tiger's mouth?
Sweetheart
That's
of a guy. Yeah.
My favorite meme ever is him just standing there going, I will never financially recover for this, because people will apply like my wife going to Nordstrom anniversary sale and like the husband saying, I will never financially recover from this.
Jesus, unbelievable people.
I mean, and that show was such a pop culture moment, which I honestly don't think it would have resonated at all had we not been a pandemic and everyone was home. I think it would have been a blip on the radar. And then Carol Baskin wound up on Dancing with the Stars. So
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I did
she
not know
did
that.
I want to say season 30, which was their kind of like quarantine season.
No.
And I mean, every single dance that she did, they're like, here is a kitty cha-cha and like, you know, a tiger samba. Like everything was tied back to Tiger King.
What did he get imprisoned for? Because I don't remember. Got to be theft of some kind, I suppose.
I wasn't hiring a hitman to kill Carol Baskin.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Did he really?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Holy Anna, I didn't know that.
Oh my God, you should almost watch this. And then the hitman's account of it was wild.
Oh, really?
He was in the wrong state, like drugged out of his mind, and he was like, I realized I wasn't in Florida. I was actually in one of the Carolinas.
Yeah.
And he's like, still haven't figured out which one.
I mean, it is like if you just were like going to every state and finding the most random, wacky people and putting together in a documentary with tigers, that's what wound up happening.
I just don't understand that whole story. I watched some of it. I didn't watch the whole thing, obviously, because I didn't know that that's how it ended. So he actually was hired for a. So what are you charged with? Not attempted murder?
No,
but
a conspiracy to
conspiracy to commit
for
murder. There you go. That makes
I love
sense.
how Rudy's like, I got it. It's conspiracy.
I've committed many crimes over the
Oh.
years, and
I watched a lot of Tiger King. I watched
Did you?
the after show
Yes.
with Joe McHale when
Yes.
Joe McHale did the thing. You guys,
what? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
He was far too snarky for that role. Like, I
Yes.
enjoyed it, but I don't think he did a good job. You need to be a little more vanilla if you're hosting a reunion show.
Yeah. Did you guys remember the "I Saw a Tiger" song?
I don't think so.
So
no.
Joe Exotic, kind of pinned himself as like a country star, like he could sing.
Oh,
Turns out
God.
that it was like two dudes in Nashville that were writing all these songs, and then he would lip sync them. And in fact, when his boyfriend accidentally shot himself, and they had the funeral, they played the song, and Joe lip synced it in front of the entire funeral. How? Here's the song if you guys don't remember it or if you've never heard it.
Let them run the jungle. Let them roam their land.
Oh, yeah.
Now remember, he is lip syncing this the entire time
Oh,
in front of people
I
at a
would-
funeral.
Could you imagine the cringe? You just squeeze. Oh! Stand.
Oh my!
So who is
gosh.
this?
So this is they bill it as Joe Exotic, right?
Right.
But his voice is like this,
That's
so
a-
it's like,
yes.
I'll never financially recover. He's got this like weird kind of squeaky voice, and it's very in his like tight nose, whatever area, like the tight throat. And then when he pulls out, all of a sudden this music video is like, I saw a tiger.
So who was that?
And tiger saw a man.
The guy singing is a guy from Nashville. It's two.
Oh,
two-
we wouldn't know him.
No, you wouldn't know him. He basically just hired these two guys to create country music for him, and then he would lip sync it.
Oh, okay.
But then bill it as himself, like
Yeah.
he's the guy who wrote and sang these
Oh,
songs.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Maybe he should be in
To
prison.
add another layer of absurdity to this story, when Carol was competing on Dancing with the Stars, her former husband, who they thought she murdered, his family took out commercials to run during Dancing with the Stars to accuse her of like to say like, finally come forward with the information. We know you did it. And it turns out, and I think it was kind of a non-story, his body was eventually found and he wasn't murdered.
Yeah, he was alive.
Really?
Wasn't he alive in South America?
Yeah, you're right. That's right. I was like, his body was found.
I know.
He
I was like, you
alive.
said that so weird. Where I was like, we can't refer to humans as bodies,
No,
Kristyn.
yeah, he wasn't murdered. That's all. That's right.
Yeah, I think he was just in South America, hanging out.
Like
yeah,
hanging out.
It for the whole story to be that it was a very the response was not huge. I think everybody just kind of disappeared, or we're living their normal life now. But that was like 6 months ago, maybe a year, where they were like, "Oh yeah,
recently.
he's alive."
I would say it was within the last 6 months that he was found in. It was such a non-story.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was January 18th of 2023 in the New York Post. Carol Baskin says dead husband was found alive, but no one noticed. And it's just now going. That is wow.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Costa Rica is where he was at.
Didn't he go back and forth to Costa Rica a lot?
Yes. Yeah.
I thought so. Yeah.
But it seems weird to me because Costa Rica, there's so many American expats who live there.
Yep.
At some point, he had to have been aware that Tiger King was a thing. I mean, Costa Rica probably has Netflix too. He must have known that everyone was accusing his ex-wife of murdering him.
You know
and he's
that
purposely in hiding.
Yes, exactly. He wanted to go disappearing because I'm sure he had a bunch of money issues in America, and he's like, if people think I'm dead, I'm fine with that. Like, plus,
fine. My former wife takes the heat.
I was gonna say I think they hated each other, so him watching her get all this heat, I'm sure he loved from afar.
And I wonder if his family ever issued an apology. I mean, because they spent a lot of money to run commercials in prime time on Dancing with the Stars. That's not a cheap, 5-second commercial, Oh, here's $100. Let's run this commercial.
I don't know. That whole deal. I watched it. I didn't watch the whole thing. I kind of petered out after a while because I didn't realize that maybe I just forgot that he tried to kill him or something, but I don't know. But it just, that show got very depressing. At first it was funny. Didn't you find it funny at first because they were so weird?
Yeah, you couldn't write these characters.
Right,
I mean, they're actual living, breathing human beings.
But then after a while, I just gave up because they got so incredibly annoying. Like, ugh, whatever. So it turned out, you said that he was gay. I didn't know he was gay.
Oh, yeah, that was a main storyline. He actually had, at some point, 2 boyfriends.
Was that toward the end of it?
One of them was young.
No, he was always very openly gay.
Oh, really? God, I never even noticed that. I don't even pay attention to that shit, I suppose. Maybe that's what it is. Like, oh, good for you. I'm happy for you. Now, I did watch some of that show. It was a very bizarre show. No doubt about it.
Yeah, and it's just so funny that it became like this, along with sourdough bread. It was like Tiger King. It was like TikTok. Like certain things I think I will always remember from that time. But Tiger King really, I mean, Netflix must have been so excited that they dropped it when they did because I don't think it would have, I mean, I think it would have been successful for maybe a couple of weeks or something had it been just normal times. And then I think people would have moved on. This one, people were stuck in Tiger King pop culture for quite a while.
It was huge. That hairstyle, by the way, still wins the award as the worst hairstyle I've ever seen in my entire life. Why would you want your hair to look like that?
People go like that for Halloween, like Halloween costumes, like they do the Tiger King.
I bet they
Perfect.
do. That would make sense. But I mean, what was the point? Was his hair like 3 different colors and it was like layered out and it was just a weird haircut?
He just had kind of like a bleached mullet with maybe a little bit of fried ends.
There you go.
Not a lot of conditioner treatment. But boy, could that guy dress. And sing. And I saw Tiger.
Jesus, Palomino. So we went all the way from laughing about The Office to Tiger King and how damn depressing that show ended up being. God, what a depressing show that was at the end from what I hear.
It was actually really emotional when his boyfriend accidentally shot himself.
Yeah, that was awful.
Yeah.
He was twirling a gun in like a warehouse, like a garage or something. He was twirling it, and there was a guy, and they have actual footage of a guy that was working with him. And the guy, he hears the gunshot and turns around, and then he just sits there with his hands over his face, watching, and he just doesn't move. That is the moment you can tell. It's such shock that this man is in. I can't believe I just saw this guy accidentally shoot himself in the head.
Why would you twirl a gun that has bullets in it?
Oh, you'll go crazy if you ask yourself why these people are doing the things they're doing.
That bad.
That's the entire docuseries. It's a lot of whys.
Oh, why would you do that?
Yeah, no. As soon as they were telling this story about, he was walking around twirling the gun, we all clenched the whole time. And that story ending the way it did, it was sad. I don't know why. He was torn. Joe Exotic was tore up, but not enough, I guess, to lip sing at the funeral
Oh, God. He lip synced at the funeral.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. All right, let's get us back on track. All right, here we go. Here we go.
I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious.
I love that so much. I'm a little stitious. And the look on his face is quite stitious. I will tell you that. What a great show. Steve Carell. Was he the original choice for that role? Because somebody told me it was offered to someone else, but they turned it down. Do you know anything about that?
I think there was a story recently that someone did turn it down. It wasn't Steve who originally was the actor they were offering it to.
Man, they should have the second Michael Scott got on that plane, that show should have ended. Because it went on another 3 years longer than it should have.
Oh,
yes, it was.
Who took over?
Then it was.
Will Ferrell for like 3 episodes.
I didn't even know this.
Yeah, and then James.
James Spader.
Yes. And it was just like a weird
and
fit.
James Spader just, he's snarky, but it's in a way that doesn't have a lot of heart. And I think that that's what made Michael Scott so lovable. Like, he would do something terrible, but you knew that he thought his intentions were so good. So,
well, James also came off a little, dare I say, rapey in a weird way in that show, where I was like, and I'm not saying but there was like this sexual undertone that just did not belong in that show. And I go, oh, we've all been alone with that boss, and I don't love that.
Really? Does that happen a lot? Really?
Oh, yeah. I would say I feel like the circles I run are legit as heck. But when I was in my 20s, oh, yeah.
Really?
I remember working at Red Robin, and one of my managers walked into the fridge or freezer, the big freezer with me, and shut the door behind me and being like,
oh,
what?
God.
Oh, yeah. And that was when I was...
Restaurants. I worked as a hostess at a theme restaurant in New York City. And I would even
Burger
just
King's
go behind
not really
the
a
lines to
theme
like pick up
restaurant.
my dinner, because we would get like a salad or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like going into the lion's den.
Oh, yeah. I was a
You'd be
hostess.
touched and groped.
Yeah, and I was 14 at the time, and I remember being like, the first time that happened, and it was years of moments like that, of people kind of testing the waters, and you're just like,
oh, really?
Huh. Ugh. And this guy was married with children, like probably in his 30s or 40s, and ugh.
It's amazing to me, because when Me Too happened, people were like, it doesn't happen to every woman. I'm like, literally, I was like, it happens to every woman. Sexual assault, sexual harassment, they've had something happen to them, and oftentimes it starts at like 12.
Yeah.
Really?
Developing, and the cat calls will happen. And that's why I was like, thank God someone's finally talking about it, because a whole generation, the alpha generation, can at least be raised with an awareness of like, you have the power to use your voice and say no and tell someone, because we weren't raised with that.
No, and it's so funny, because when I clicked my brain over to, lived in a world where we'd go to a bar, somebody'd get their ass grabbed, or somebody would have something, we'd laugh about it. It wasn't confrontation. It was, we have to laugh about it. Or if it happened at work, you laughed about it, whatever. When I switched my brain over to how I would want, at the time, my nanny kiddo, the girl I nannied, to act, and I started applying that to me, I was like, oh, I don't want Brookie to laugh it off. I want her to be confrontational. I want her to tell somebody. I don't want her to feel like, oh, we have to make this a joke, otherwise we bawl our eyes out.
Yeah.
And
be
so
loud. Yell out, so everyone else around, because oftentimes it happens in front of other people.
Yeah.
And they don't,
Wait
you
a
don't
minute.
even know, because they're so good at it, and they'll slyly do it.
What are they doing in front of other people?
I mean, there's the whole groping, there's the touching.
In front of other people?
I've had
all the time.
Really?
All the time.
I've had people, when I was in my 20s on your show, on the show at KQ, I've had them say the weirdest things to me, and then go live their lives, and I would tell nobody, because why would I tell anybody?
Okay, I have a question. Did he have a limp?
Well, there was one who had a limp who said,
I saw the look on your face, and I knew who it was immediately.
but you know what I mean? It was one of those things where I had the mindset of just laugh about it later with somebody or whatever, but I didn't want the girl that I was nannying to have that same mindset. And I don't want Go-Go having that same mindset, so I need to adapt that mindset as well. Like, if it happened now, I would have a completely different response. But, man, yeah, in my 20s, for sure, especially in this industry, and then in the military, oh, my God.
Oh, really?
To be honest, though, it happens across
Everywhere.
the board in every industry. Because my dad even called me during, like, the whole Me Too, and he's like, oh, Hollywood, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, my dad was in the aesthetics industry, dermatology, and I'd be like, no. It happens in your industry, but you're a man.
Yeah.
And people aren't talking to you about it because maybe they don't feel comfortable talking to you about it. But I'm like, I guarantee you it is happening on every single level.
Absolutely.
So why don't
and the worst of it for me personally was never Hollywood. It was the restaurant industry where I got the worst harassment. It was consistent every single time I went into a shift, and it was an accepted part of the workplace.
So I have a question for you. So why do other men put up with that men's behavior like that? Why do they put up
everybody,
with it?
including everyone's been taught to just laugh it off. Like
I don't. I don't think it's funny in the least.
It's not funny. And it's,
I don't
and
get it.
sometimes you can have a playful, and it's, because I think a lot of men got like, well, now I can't joke around with anyone. And I'm like, those people who you can joke around with and it's okay. But there's a line that some people cross that you're like, well, why did you have to go and grab my butt?
I just remember
raise your hand across my boobs. That's always the good one. Like a hand raise. Like, oh, sorry. Didn't mean to. I was just reaching for, the book on the shelf.
I just remember, too, when all the Me Too stuff came out, there was somebody on that I worked with was like, well, now, I'm scared to touch anybody at work. And I remember thinking, we would love that for us. Like, from him, I was like, as women's species, I would like to say that is a sacrifice we are willing to accept in this. Like, ugh.
But don't men understand, and Rudy, you can speak to this as well, that if that behavior is allowed, it's going to spill over on everyone. And I'll give you an example of what I mean. Many, many years ago, I got a call from an attorney. I got a call from my attorney first who said, there's an attorney talking to me about something. I want you to talk to him. And I said, okay, no problem. So I talked to the other attorney, and there was a person who I was at a party, and she complained to her attorney that I followed her all the way home in my car. She said he was behind me the whole time. He followed me all the way home. There was no question he was following me. I was really kind of creeped out by it. I want to make sure that, people understand what this is all about. I said to the attorney, I got to be honest with you. I live on the same block she does. Think about that.
Yeah.
I did nothing wrong, and yet there's an attorney who has a thing that says, I followed a woman all the way home from a party, and I know she knew I lived on that block. So what was that all about? Right?
Well, I think sometimes women, on her side, she probably felt uncomfortable or uneasy about something at the party.
Well,
the timing was coincidental, and that's one of those situations where you just have to say, I live on the same block. We happen to leave at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, but
there's nothing to it. You're welcome to follow me.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you're, you know what I mean? If you're guilty, you have something to hide. If you're not, you're like, go ahead, follow me. I'm not following her at all.
Yeah, you could have just said, I am terrible with directions, and my Garmin was out.
I don't know what the hell happened.
I didn't have a choice. I was either that or end up in Wyzetta. I don't know. What would you do?
But what I'm
And
saying
I would
is,
ask also, the woman might have something else going on in her life.
but why
Whether
push
she
it
had a
off on me?
She could have had a stalker in the past. She could have some trauma in the past that makes her
But what would,
a little extra sensitive too.
from her point of view, tap into her point of view, what is the difference of you driving to work compared to following her? Like, why would she know that?
I don't know.
No,
I
I'm
suppose
saying-
because we left at the same time.
Yeah.
Maybe, I guess.
So it's like one of those things where it was just a terrible coincidence because from her point of view, if you were following her, it would look exactly the same.
I don't know that I was right behind her the whole
Well,
time. I don't even remember.
Somebody who's good at following would have.
Yeah, there you
We're
go.
aware of it. As women, we're aware of it. And I will tell you, a lot of guys don't realize this, but they're just walking down the sidewalk and they're following too closely behind me. And I'm going to bet that 99.9% of the time, their intentions are good. They're just walking down the street and going to the store. However, all I'm thinking about is the 0.1% that's going to go and attack me. And I'm like, men, you got to back off and you got to get away from women. Don't walk like right behind them. It freaks us out.
Oh, I don't like it. And especially, oh man, like garage. There's a garage parking lot that in Minneapolis that I'd always go to that has an elevator, and that's the only way to get down. And if I am alone with a guy, I will fake a phone call. I will whatever.
Good idea, yeah.
And not because 99.9999% that guy's just going to his car too. But like the amount of stress that it is causing me is just not worth getting in there with him. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we were talking last week about how sometimes people just have to speak up and take action.
Right.
My daughter, this was probably 5-6 years ago, she was riding her bike home from a friend's house, and I was at that friend's house as well with the parents.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? You can ride your bike home. I'm just going to follow behind you a little bit.
Yeah.
So we were driving on a side street in Richfield. Out of nowhere, some lady comes flying around me, gets in front of my vehicle, slams on the brakes, yells to my daughter, "Do you know this man?"
I love her.
You know this man? And I was like, whoa, hang on a second. I was like, that's my daughter. We're just coming home from a friend's house. She got a big smile on her face. She was like, I am very embarrassed. I said, no, don't be. This is amazing.
I agree.
Thank you so much for doing that. Thank you.
You have an amazing neighborhood, and I would be like, keep doing that always.
Yeah.
Because what's the difference between you? And I would also be like, next time maybe get proof, because I feel like anybody could say, like, maybe Kinley needs to chime in.
No, because she was like, I don't know who that guy is. I was like, shut your mouth.
Kinley, not a time for jokes, but also hilarious.
But that's it. I mean, we've been in the situation too often where other people don't step in to help when you could use that help. So, like, that's a situation where you're like, thank you. She's totally safe, but thank you, because if the situation were completely different, you would want someone to step in like that.
Why don't men step up?
I would hope that after 2017 that more men do speak up, and I feel like they also, like, the good guys really do help in situations, but there's still plenty of bad people out there, and you have to be aware of it. And I think a lot of more women now feel empowered to even help other women in situations.
It just amazes me that men get in their heads that somehow to basically harass a woman is exciting. That makes no sense to me.
It's power, though. It's power.
You're so powerless, you get your power from that? God, what a weasel.
A lot of men don't like that women are now out there in the workforce and gaining powers of position, whether it's politics or in the corporate world or anywhere else. They don't love equality.
And it might even be more innocent. I mean, in some ways, it might even be more innocent than that, is that they grew up in a very, that was the way people hit on people. It was like, oh, I met my wife at work. She worked for me or whatever. Like, I try not to put every situation in malice of, like, every man is, like, getting off on the power dynamic. Is like, that's how they learn to communicate, and that's whatever. And, like, do they need to be taught something else? Absolutely. And I'm not talking about, like, sexually harassing, but maybe like I really like you in that outfit or this or that, like little things where you go, yeah, we're not doing that anymore. Like, that's not the vibe here.
You just go, nice shirt.
Nice
when they do
shirt. Where'd you get it?
You look nice today. Ended at that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
See, I'm just glad. I know we got to move on here, but let me just say that I'm very, very happy that I find Catherine to be such a weakling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, try harassing Catherine sometime and see whose ass gets kicked. I'll tell you that. I don't know that I'd want to go toe-to-toe with Catherine.
The glare alone.
The glare alone, exactly.
Just to bring things full circle, it was Bob Odenkirk who was originally considered for the role of Michael Scott.
There you go.
Yeah, we had a listener, Aaron, write that in as well.
He'd have been good, don't you think? I think Odenkirk would be
That's
great.
what I said. That's what I wrote back. I said, even though I'm glad it was Steve Carell,
right, yeah.
he could have killed that role too.
It would have just been a different show, though.
Yeah.
Just different
Yeah,
show,
I
different
agree.
interpretation of who Michael Scott was. So.
All right, yeah, lame-o. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
I'll be here for Friday.
Whoop, whoop.
Kristyn Burtt,
All right.
ladies and gentlemen, we've got to take a break. Be right back. Chris Egert joined us just a couple of minutes. Guys, I want to let you know about acoustic wave therapy protocol provided by my new sponsor, Twin Cities Premier Health. We talked to Emily about this a lot yesterday. Got a lot of notices from guys that kind of liked that that interview. They liked it a lot. It's a non-invasive, non-surgical, highly effective, science-based procedure, creates an increase in blood flow and helps create new blood vessels by treating the root cause of most erectile dysfunction. In fact, acoustic wave therapy is the latest advancement in the treatment of erectile dysfunction. Now, I should mention, by the way, because I was asked a couple of times, no, I did not have erectile dysfunction, but I am of an age that I want to ward it off as long as I possibly can. That makes sense, right? Sound wave energy is also used to help repair old or damaged blood vessels and stimulate the growth of new blood vessels, which is called neovascularization. Yes, I said neovascularization, which allows for better blood flow. Unlike using a pill to create a pharmaceutically induced erection, they treat the root cause of the problem, which is always a good idea. Age-related erectile dysfunction is most commonly caused by a buildup of plaque in the arteries that supply blood to the erectile tissue. This acoustic wave therapy gets rid of that. It's wonderful. Reach out to Twin Cities Premier Health like I did, and right now receive this special offer, a free treatment and a free consultation when you book today. This is valued at $800, 952-395-4346. That's my unique phone number, 952-395-4346 for their office, or go to TwinCitiesPremierHealth.com. I go for my third treatment today, and like I said, this is definitely the route to take. I'm very, very happy I made this choice. Be sure to tell them Tom Barnard sent you, by the way.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Listen live on the Tom Barnard Show app or at TomBarnardShow.com.
This is Tom Barnard for Niemeyer Trailer Sales. They've been a part of Minnesota since 1965, and their name says it all. They are family. If you want to take your passion on the road and make memories camping wherever you want, no motors, but pull trailer RVs, go to Niemeyer Trailer Sales. True story. The very best brands live at Niemeyer's. Like the latest from Rockwood by Forest River, #1 in their class, whether you want a tent trailer, expandable, travel trailer, or a fifth wheel, Niemeyer Trailer Sales has it all. Plus, they deliver on the forgotten art of customer service with personable employees, often sons and daughters of the third-generation family-owned business who simply do what they say they will do every time. Come explore their huge selection and consult with RV service pros. You will leave satisfied no matter what you are looking for. The Niemeyer family welcomes you to visit both of their locations in Albertville and Elko New Market before your next vacation. Head to NIEMEYERS.com and put your passion on the road. Niemeyer Trailer Sales. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Egert brought to you. The news brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. Chris Egert brought to you by Josh Arnold. Having lunch with Josh tomorrow, as a matter of fact. Looking forward. We're going to Jimmy's over there, owned by Mike Jennings.
Nice.
I love that restaurant. It's
what are you going to get? What's the go-to at Jimmy's?
Well, Josh is paying, so I'm going to order everything on the menu. Just bring it all over.
Will you order some to go, and I'll just swoop by, too?
Their food is good there. That is really, really good. God, I've known Mike for 40 years, I bet. Long time. JJ's Playhouse, baby. Back in the old days. Jennings Red Coach Inn. You guys remember that on Excelsior Boulevard?
No.
Jennings Red Coach. I might have been the first family restaurant. His father and mother started that restaurant years ago. Great stuff. So what's happening with you, Pally?
Is that on Shady Oak Road in 62 there? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, sir, right there.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
exactly
we went to, I think we might have went to a Father's Day brunch there a number of years ago. It was really good.
Really good, yep. Mike does a great job with all that stuff. He's a hell of a nice man, too. No doubt about it. So what's going on in your life?
Club sandwich
tomorrow? Oh, God, the club sandwiches are fantastic.
It's a good summertime sandwich, right? Like, feels light, airy.
You know what I did for dinner last night is I walked over across the street because there was a cow there, and I cut his leg off and just held it up in the air so I could smoke it. Jesus. My eyes are still burning, for Christ's sake.
It's like the Twin Cities has become like the big barbecue thing.
Exactly.
For States. We're all just inside of it right now, getting smoked.
Smoking your own ribs, man. Yeah,
Right?
It was thick. Matter of fact, we went home at about 7:30 last night. We're having a little dinner with the kids and all that. Well, there was an argument whether that brilliant orb that was covered by smoke was the moon or the sun, because we couldn't tell.
Still, the jury's still out.
We couldn't tell which one it was. Like, good God. But then we found out the moon was crescent last night, so it had to be the sun, because it was a full orb.
I noticed the moon on my way in 2 days ago. It was just a tiny little crescent, and at that point, the smoke hadn't moved in yet. It was really cool. But yeah, yesterday was weird when the sun was so muted like that.
It was really odd, and it got heavier and heavier, and it finally went away. What, about 8 or 9 o'clock last night? Somebody said started going away,
and getting better throughout the day today. So it sounds like it's going to move on through southern Minnesota today, and then kind of get out of our way, and things should be a bit more normal here as we move toward the weekend. So.
Because that cannot be good for you, inhaling all that smoke, man.
I was driving.
Jesus.
I was driving the Corvette yesterday too, or like convertible in the Experience because I had.
Oh, that was your red car?
No, mine's silver.
Because there was a red one out there with the top off it too yesterday.
Dang.
There were 2 Corvettes out there yesterday.
We raced later. We did a
you?
drag
Okay.
race.
Mm-hmm.
But it was one of those things I was getting the oil change on my normal car, so I was like, I'll just take the Corvette, live my life. And of course, it was like, every time I was listening to the radio, dangerous air conditions. And I was like, I know.
The top off.
No, make it stop. I was like, well,
Really
and I
nice.
stopped, got a pack of cigarettes, and I thought, might as
Really
well.
nice.
Yeah, I put up on Facebook yesterday, I said, it looks like there are a bunch of you whose parents didn't smoke in the car, because you can tell everybody was like,
Yep.
I was like, my mom used to drive around Marb Reds, middle of July, windows rolled up, no AC. That's what we lived through.
I
So
know.
listen, I'm sorry Canada has a little bit of a campfire going on right now, because even they're up there just going, hey, sorry about that, eh? You know,
Our bad.
We'll take care of that, you know? But it's awful. Yeah. Everybody relax. You'll be
Wait
fine.
a minute
Give
now.
it a day.
Chuck Schumer just said a few days ago it was caused by global warming.
Oh, that's what it was?
Like,
oh,
God.
son of a gun.
Well, technically, can't you say, like, fires are just a
Not
very
when
warm...
it's arson.
No, I'm joking. Like, I'm saying, like, how warm? A fire's very warm. Isn't
You'd
that?
think, yes. That would be very, very warm. But these people, honest to God, if I can make money off of your misery, I'm going to try to do it. Oh, now
Right.
she's going to be playing with that princess phone all morning now.
Hello?
Is it the
No.
bat phone?
I gotta go. I'm on the air. Bye.
Weren't those called princess phones when they first came out?
Princess phones?
I believe so. Does
I've
it
never-
say the name on the bottom
It says
of it?
Conair phone. This is a very old phone.
Yeah, they were when they first released them. They called them princess phones. for
There
some
is
reason.
nothing more satisfying though than ending a conversation and being like, "Not on my dime."
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That noise. That's true. You want to hear my impression of how my mother answered the phone my entire life?
Huh.
True story.
Yes.
And I don't know why she did this, but my mother's voice was deeper than mine. You have to remember that. So you would call my mother, and the phone would ring. You would hear her pick it up. There'd be a long pause, and she would go, hello. What the hell is that? Hello. What do you, what's the for?
We have that in our cul-de-sac where we
God.
turn the buys longer and longer. So now the little 12-year-old always goes to me, bye.
Bye. Yeah, there
and I'm
you
like,
go. Well,
we
same thing
shout
then.
the whole way out, and it's just now become just insane the way that we say goodbye.
That's it.
Bye.
Goes on forever.
Yeah. Hello.
You guys dropped the, well, I suppose.
I suppose. Yeah,
It's
there you
such
go.
a Minnesota
It'd be
thing.
about that time, isn't it?
Yeah.
The both hands on the lap,
There you go.
slowly standing up.
Most people say when they say goodbye, I've been keyed into this lately. Like they almost always go, bye. Like there's always the kind of the thing like your mom did, Tom. There's a little bit of bye.
That's it right there.
Listen to it, like, and I'm sure it's a Midwestern thing, but I don't know what I've been all keyed in on that the last couple of days. Every person I talk to, bye.
You know, the other thing my mother did that annoyed the piss out of me, I never understood why she did it. How some people would say, you're telling me a story, but I can't quite picture what you're talking about. My mother said, and I will never understand, she would say, I hear what you're saying, but I can't feature what you're saying. What are you, in a movie theater? Feature?
I
Where the
kind of
hell did you
like
get
that phrasing.
I can't really feature what you're. So we're going to use that from now on. I can't really feature what you're talking about. Was this in your brain pan movie theater? Is that what we're talking about here?
I love that.
Toots.
I like that too.
You guys would have loved Toots.
I-
You would have loved her, man.
I can't imagine any other way. She sounds so great.
And I mean this with the highest compliment I can possibly give from the inner city. She was a tough broad, man. She was I adored that woman. Don't you step out of line, no, brother. I'm here to tell you. I adored my mother. You guys loved your mother.
I love my mom.
Isn't that great?
She's coming back on Sunday to
Is
watch
she really?
Go-Go. Well, yeah,
that's
they're
nice.
they're living at the cabin now, and so they just coming back into town. She's coming on Sunday, and I cannot wait. I'm so excited.
How about this one? When Andy was born, I said, my mother wants to babysit him one night. Catherine said, yeah, that'd be great. About 30 or 40 Pall Mall cigarettes. Perfect.
Yeah.
Not happening.
It's like one day of yesterday. I was even thinking, what's the equivalent of how many cigarettes I could have
that's true.
had instead
I
of
bet you
driving
somebody-
around in my Corvette?
I bet you someone knows that. I bet you someone can tell you if you were outside for 2 hours yesterday from, let's say, 5 o'clock till 7 o'clock, they probably know how many cigarettes you inhaled without even knowing it.
I bet.
Sure.
They probably would know that. Who could? Do we have a scientist? Do you have a scientist at Channel 5?
Yeah, let me.
Do you need to borrow my phone? Do you want to get him on the bat line?
Brittany, give him a call and see if
I'm on it.
Mr. Wizard. Do you have a Mr. Wizard over there?
It made I actually thinking very nostalgically about my grandmother right now because love, she had this like boat of a Caprice Classic, and that thing smelled like cigarettes, and I love that smell, which I don't know.
I know because you rhymed your mama.
I just remember what it smelled like, and she'd smoke those like Capris that were like this long.
Like they're like 100s.
We used to joke that she could smoke a whole cigarette with one ash. Like wouldn't, like the ash would be that freaking long and then dink.
My mother, same story. That thing was like, it started out like that and it'd go.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
I remember at Thanksgiving one time, my uncle had brought his new girlfriend over. And he was like, "Oh, wait till you guys see her, man. She's a knockout." And then she showed up. It was like, ooh, she kind of looks like the after picture on a meth billboard.
Whoops.
And when she left, my uncle was like, "What'd you guys think?" And my grandmother did not skip a beat. She went, "Well, she must be great in bed because she ain't nothing to look at."
Oh,
that's amazing.
At Thanksgiving. That happened right after we cut the turkey. Those were her exact words.
And how does your uncle even recover from that?
Oh, it caused a huge fight. Big fight.
I would imagine.
He left, but she was like, "I'm just telling you, she ain't." Yeah.
So, you built it up too much.
Yes,
That's the problem.
Absolutely. But at that time, like they were both pretty much on drugs and drinking all the time. So it's like, well, honesty is the best policy here. And it was like when she said it, the whole room was like, "That's a very accurate description."
Oh, that's sad. I'm tearing up. There's no doubt about it. So, what's the latest in the news? Is there any really? See, what we were talking about earlier this morning is I got to cut it back from 4 minutes apiece because usually when I get up in the morning, while I'm walking, because I do about a mile inside the house, kind of looping around different rooms and all that stuff. So I watch. Now I just watch, and I'm not. Look, I support my friends and all the rest of it, so I watch 5 Eyewitness News. But for national news, I watch Fox for about 3 to 4 minutes, and I watch CNN for about 3 to 4 minutes, and I can't take any more of it. I literally, the arrogance of those people on those shows has overwhelmed me. Not only, like when you guys come on and you do the news, right? You don't get that, let me just tell you something. You guys don't do that. They both do that. It's like, oh, I know you viewers are so stupid, I better explain this to you. Do you get that take from national news?
There are certain people who I think give that vibe off more than other people.
Yes.
And I know what we've sort of tried to do is be as regular.
You are.
Just
You are
talking to each other. We're not, because I'm sitting up here in a suit with my makeup on doesn't make me any more special than anybody else.
Well, let me put it this way. So, I got Dave Moore, I got Don Shelby, I got you. You go down the list of all these people. Frank Vassalero. None of you people ever did that. Don't you think, though, and I've asked you this before, I know, but don't you think that Minneapolis-St. Paul is one of the by far best news markets in the country? For
do.
reporting.
Mm-hmm. And it's very well supported by the community. Like, that's something that I worked in Seattle for a number of years, and people didn't, if they watched the news, they sure as hell wouldn't tell you that.
Oh, no. Right.
Most of them would give you I don't watch the news, kind of, which is fine, like whatever. But they didn't have to, a Midwesterner will not be that impolite, right?
No,
like even if they don't watch the news, be like, oh yeah, I'll have to check it out sometime or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'll give you an example. This is a perfect example of what you're talking about. I ran into 3 friends I've known for many, many years, guys from North Minneapolis. And we're talking about this, that, and the other. And one of them has moved to Carmel, California, right, which I've been there before. It's spectacularly beautiful. There's no question about that. He said, I was kind of worried about this because I moved out there, but I loved, morning shows and the Twin Cities market, and I thought I was really going to miss it, but... now with the internet and all the rest of it, and this, Tom, you're working that same situation, but I think it's so fantastic because, I'm out in Carmel and every day I get up and I listen to Meat Sauce and the Common Man. Like, you pain in the ass, because he knows we're friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Because Meat Sauce and Common Man are friends, so he had to shove it right down my throat, that pill. Yeah, whatever. Smart ass.
kind of a dick thing to say. And also, Meat Sauce and Common Man aren't on at the same time. So
no, they're not. But no, they're not. That's very, very true. But I just love the fact he had to stab me in the ribs, didn't he?
Yeah, well, good friends are like that, right? They know where to
exactly.
They know where to hit. They know where to hit the most.
It works out.
I think the people on TV here are reflective of the audience too.
No doubt. No question.
And I think that evolves in different cities and different areas. And the more comfortable you are in what you do and the people you're talking to, I think it becomes more casual. I don't know when you're watching the network thing. I don't know. I'm not a network news anchor, so I can't really answer.
I can't watch it. I can watch it for about 3 minutes. That's about it. No question. I was over in your building yesterday.
Yeah.
What a nice. I met so many you don't have any pricks over there. Everybody that I talked to is really nice.
Yeah, Chris.
No prick zone.
Well, Chris leaves by the time you rolled in too. So
there's no prick at all in the building.
Did you meet any of Brittany's walking team members when you were here?
Oh, you mean like Dan Seaman?
Oh, you want to make fun of Dan Seaman now?
Dan's kicking her ass from what I heard.
Somebody got really quiet all of a sudden.
Yeah, what happened? I heard he can kick ass with that walking team.
Oh, he's killing it. He's currently in second. I'm in third. Julia's in first.
Julia is?
Yeah.
Well, she doesn't ever work, so that's good.
No, she's been playing a lot of pickleball, getting them steps there too.
I just started. I shouldn't even say I started yet. I tried playing pickleball. Now I bought some pickleball shoes that Catherine got for me. So I'm going to start. It was fun actually when I played it.
I think you'd love it.
Yeah, that's what everybody tells me. So we're going to start playing it, I think, maybe this weekend. We shall see how that goes and play throughout the summer. But, no, I wanted to congratulate you guys on that because I met so many nice people over there yesterday. Everybody in that Hubbard building is in a great mood. They got the no asshole rule going, which I loved. But just had a great experiance.
Good.
I want to tell you.
Did you hit the cafeteria?
We did not. No, we did not. We matter of fact, I was trying to think of Dan because I met with Dan for most of the time. Yeah, I didn't even get like a peanut or anything. Got nothing.
Their food there is good, and it's
affordable.
So affordable. Yeah. I don't want to say cheap because it makes it sound like it's not good food, but it's like I love eating there.
You know what I learned yesterday? And I can't say how I learned this because I've known the Hubbard family, like I said, for 52 years, right? Mr. Hubbard, when he's in the building, you know he's in the building. You know how? Going to the cafeteria that you know Mr. Hubbard's in the building. They have oyster crackers. Because he doesn't like flat crackers. He likes oyster crackers.
I feel that. Yeah.
Isn't that phenomenal, though?
I like me some oyster crackers.
Yeah,
he's going to get
Chris is right next door to it. Chris is literally, next time you go to the cafeteria.
He's going to get his oyster crackers.
Next time you go to the
I always wondered that because I did notice that the oyster crackers weren't always out.
That's correct.
So that interesting.
Because of Mr. Hubbard, when he's in the building if there are oyster crackers. So be careful, Buster.
Listen, those flat crackers are my breakfast.
I love
4 days
crackers.
a week.
But I talked to Lori yesterday. She was terrific. I saw Julia through the window. I met a whole bunch of people there yesterday. But I'm not kidding you. Could not run into it. And they didn't know I was in the building. It wasn't like, try not to be a prick to Tom. It wasn't like that at all. They didn't know I was in the building, but I went around with Dan and met a bunch of people. Could not tell. Grant was there. Lori was there. I met a whole bunch of people. Cindy, terrific. But, yeah, you're very, very lucky. I love that building anyway. And really a great feeling in that building, don't you think?
I agree.
I really do.
I agree. That front lobby, they got the new front lobby, too.
Yeah, what the hell happened to my K? Put the K back, damn it.
I know. It's so
Pisses
much
me
different
off.
now, but it's nice.
18 years old, walked in the building, had to put one foot on one side of the K and the other foot on the other side of the K because I was in both Minneapolis and St. Paul, baby. Ah?
Yeah.
Now we're talking. I did that at the Canadian border once, too, and they said, stop that. They don't like it when you do it at the Canadian border. You know that, right?
Well, they're like, sir, please pick a lane.
Yeah,
and we're gonna tell you.
Exactly. Pick a lane, brother.
Get out of here.
It's true. So what's happening in your world? Any busy, busy day for you as far as news concerned?
Well, they're trying to figure out, and I don't really know what the answer to this is. And apparently, our city leaders and community law enforcement community can't agree on how to stop the kids from stealing the cars because it's become something that's sort of out of control right now.
It is.
Hennepin County attorney is talking about now finding a way to be able to press charges on them within a matter of just a couple of days, because a lot of times they'll get booked and then they'll get set right out again after that and sort of fall through the cracks a little bit. So it sounds like they're trying to work on that. This is an interesting story. I mean, not a resolution at this point, but it's being talked about. And in case you were wondering, the state fair is still making plenty of money.
Really? That's hard to believe.
I know you guys were probably worried about that, thinking that the fair might dry up over there.
Yeah.
Not doing well, but they released their report for 2022, so last year's fair. And let's see. They took in nearly $65 million in revenue.
That's like an NBA player.
So the fair's doing very well. In 2021 was the year before that with COVID, and obviously they actually barely made money that year. So operating expenses, when you compare that to how many people were coming, but they're doing fine. Just wanted you to know that.
Thank God.
I literally just checked while you were talking there, and I'm now very, very depressed because we got our day we're supposed to appear at the fair this year.
Yeah.
They sent it to me, and I just checked, and it's actually 2 days before the fair opens. So, it's kind of an insult, don't you think?
That's 68 days away, by the way.
Is it really only 68 days away already?
The fair's 70 days away.
Yeah.
What are we on? A Saturday? Are we on a Saturday?
The August 26th, I believe it is, yeah.
Day after my mother's birthday, baby.
Oh, it's my wife's birthday.
26th or the 25th?
26th.
Yeah, my mother's was the 25th, man. Perfect. So it opens on, what would that be then, on the 23rd?
I looked it up. So Wednesday night is like the kind of like the small little opening that they have. But the Thursday morning is when all the, friggin' nut jobs to line up outside of that place at like 4 a.m.
Rudy, how dare you?
How dare you?
People.
That's a national treasure right there.
How dare you?
I look at some of these.
What a disgusting take that is.
That's not at all.
Yes,
Chris and I
fire him? Got it.
Yeah, on the princess phone.
Man, I don't know. But I was wondering this. Who owns the state fair? Is it part of the state?
It's its own thing.
Yeah, it's owned by the state, isn't it?
No.
It's not.
No, I don't think it is. No.
No, I don't know what the proper way to describe it is, but it's one of those quasi organizations that
Minnesota State Agriculture Society.
Okay. So there is a place that, so there's something that, it's not just like state, but there's like government funding that goes into it, correct?
There might be some, but the whole thing is it's not a government agency, so there's we can't, as media or the public, really kind of know any of the financial workings of it because it's not a government agency. Otherwise, some of that stuff would have to be, and I'm not saying there's any conspiracy theory or anything there, but whatever's kind of going on there, that's their deal. And,
Yeah, you nailed it. It says public corporation and a quasi-state agency as defined by state law. Like, you couldn't have said that more perfectly.
I love to use the word quasi just to sound smart.
Yes. Quasimodo, you mean like that?
I know a dog who's got a German Shepherd who's got a spinal issue, a short spine syndrome, and his name is Quasi because he looks like Quasimodo.
Oh, puppy. That's too bad.
So cute.
That's
Shut up. Don't laugh, Chris. It's serious.
Chris is laughing his ass off about
more than 12 dogs in the world suffer from short spine syndrome.
I'm not laughing at the
How dare you, sir?
Injury. I'm laughing at
He was on I brought him on Twin Cities Live one time.
Oh.
You want him on Minnesota Live? I can get him for you.
Let me talk to our booking people.
We'll be in touch.
Our booking people.
I'll see if Quasi's available too.
I appreciate that kind of humor because I often refer to myself as Lieutenant Dan. So
sure, good thing.
We actually at Secondhand Hounds have 2 short spine dogs, and one is named Cooper because he looks like a Mini Coop.
Oh. That's cute.
Welcome to the depressing hour. Jesus.
These dogs are thriving.
Kids without legs, and we got dogs, and we got...
I'm going to show you Quasi.
I don't want to see Quasi. It'll make me sad.
He's great.
I go home and see Judd.
So you know how like there's a handicap in golf to help even out the playing field?
Yes.
So for every one step Chris Egert takes, does he get 3?
Yeah, do you?
Is that how?
There's Quasi. He looks great. He's happy. I know his owner.
God, that's sad.
He's great.
Looks like he's trying
Rudy, it's a good question. I'll see if
I think
I'll
you
ask the walking team rule.
Yeah, you should get 3 steps for every one you take. I think that would even it out.
Tom, I'm telling you, we got to get on that walking team. That's the thing around here.
All right, we'll get it done, man. If you want to do it, I'll do it with you.
Okay.
No question.
You guys should definitely start your own team, and just to like show me, and you're gonna find out it's so fun.
So it's all distance. It's all based on distance. Is that correct?
Just steps, pure steps.
Pure steps.
So
we would kick their ass. Yep. No question.
That's so funny. I'm almost doing almost every day. I'm almost 20,000 steps.
That's nothing.
Nothing? Yeah, let me get the
What is that,
president
about 2
on the
miles?
phone.
What is that, about 2 miles?
I found out that
How many miles is it?
It's over 10 miles a day.
It is not.
Absolutely.
And how long does it take you?
It's throughout the whole day.
Oh, so you do little spurts.
Oh yeah, like
So
I don't
you're not out there like
knock
4
out
straight
10
hours.
miles. No, the longest I run right now is about 4 miles,
Okay.
and then everything else is like walking with go-go or just everyday walking. So it counts. That's why I run to the
You
bathroom.
know how stupid I am? I once walked 20 miles in one shot. Why didn't I just go another 6 miles?
You
So I could say I walked a marathon?
Sure.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
I think it's stupid that you walk 20 miles. Period.
I was not in a good mood, so that really drove me forward.
Did it help?
Absolutely. Walking really helps me not be pissed off at the
I
world.
agree.
It
That is a
does.
good move.
Chris put on his ear thing, so I think he has to go.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Oh, you're so
I
important.
got an earplug.
Want to
Oh,
be
you
on my
settle
walkie?
down.
Look at people are telling me secret things. All right, I gotta go.
Bye.
All right,
All right, buddy.
Get
We'll
to
see
the
you
new
later.
news desk and hop to it, Buster.
All right.
What do you think of that action? He puts in his earpiece. What a pill.
He's such a big deal.
I love him. He's wonderful. Great guy to work with. Always has been a great guy, actually. Chris Egert, ladies and gentlemen. News brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. Josh is very good at that. We'll talk more about that in the future, as a matter of fact. So, basically, we better go to break here. Absolutely. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes right after this.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Listen live on the Tom Barnard Show app or at tombarnardshow.com.
You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust, who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation, 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
Ready, set, summer. Hi, Judd Zulgad here. You know, the unofficial start of summer, well, it's here. Whether you're heading to the beach, the ballpark, or a barbecue, summer is more fun when you are feeling your best. Let Livia Weight Control Centers help you make the most of our beautiful summer days. Join Livia's doctor-recommended program today and get 8 weeks free. That's right, 8 weeks for free. You could lose up to 15 pounds or more by the 4th of July. I lost 40 pounds on this program a couple of years back, and I'm going to tell you the most important thing. The dietitians and nutritionists at Livia are going to help you maintain weight loss. We've all lost weight, right? Inevitably, it feels like it comes back. Not with this program. It has done right by me, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to do right by you. Summertime is here, and Livia wants you to make the most of it. Call 855-GO-LIVEA or visit LiviaLIVEA.com. Join today and get 8 weeks for free. Again, 15 pounds or more lost by the 4th of July. Are you kidding me? Call 855-GO-LIVEA. Livia voted Minnesota's best weight loss program 2 years in a row. Check them out to lose the weight.
The new Tom Barnard Morning Show is proud to have partners like Bradshaw & Bryant, MyPillow, and North American Banking Company founder, chairman, and president, Mike Bilski.
I've advertised on Tom's show for years, and the reason is simple. My business is recognized because of the ads, and that recognition has created growth. What business doesn't want to grow? I highly recommend the Tom Barnard Morning Show for your advertising.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Visit tombarnardshow.com, keyword partner.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. We just went through what could have been a very traumatic moment here in Studio A, the Tom Barnard Morning Show. I was talking to Brittany and reached over to get something and tipped over a 16-ounce bottle of Diet Pepsi Wild Cherry. First time in life it wasn't open.
He always has it sitting
always
open on his desk, and it always makes me so nervous, and I'm very spastic, so I find myself...
closed, ladies and gentlemen, still
The
closed.
one time ever. I don't know what it is. You and Justin love to gamble. He loves having his cap off his drink just sitting there.
Me too.
You guys are insane.
I don't know why.
Well, I tend to spill things a lot at home. You know, I like because I'll set just a big glass of water down on my desk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I forget that I really have no peripheral vision anymore.
Yeah.
And then the next thing I know, but didn't one of our favorite voiceover people, didn't he once, I believe it's true, he spilled like a 16-ounce Diet Coke all over the console.
Board. Yeah, the board.
I think it was at VoiceWorks.
I believe that's true.
Yes.
He goes, yes. That's what I understand.
A guy I worked with many times.
Really? Like, where did you work with him? Was it any on like TV shows or anything like that?
Yeah, something like
was
that.
Was it really? Yeah. It's really hard to believe.
Yeah.
You know, I just saw an episode of that the other day. It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
There's a lot of you guys on YouTube, I think.
Yeah.
Stretch and Z show. But you were interviewing Bob Sansevier.
Yes, the Bob Sansevier. He loved that. He's to this day he still talks about how much fun it was.
It was you and Sandy and of course Z.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And you all three looked like you were about 25 years old.
Yeah, those were the days.
It was unbelievable. Like, holy God, these guys at one time were handsome.
Well, it's one of the problems you have when you've been around a long time.
Yeah.
Is that it's like. Remember there was that documentary. Al Milgrom did that documentary of the Dinkytown uprising.
Oh God, back in the day.
Going back to the day. So
right.
So but the thing about Al, wonderful guy by the way. It took Al like 40 years to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So he interviewed me like the day after the Dinkytown uprising when all the buildings were torn down for the fast food restaurant that never actually made it there.
Mm-hmm.
And so he interviewed me like the next day. So then like 40 years later, he interviewed me again for the same documentary. And I came to realize that it's not a big deal if you're featured in a documentary that was done 40 years ago. And it's not a big deal if you're just there today, if you just do a video today.
Yeah.
But when the two are juxtaposed, you don't want to see that.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying, man. I gotta run some headlines by you guys because there are a couple of things I don't understand. Google got $10 million for deceptive abortion ads. Well, how can an abortion ad be deceptive? I don't understand. You either get an abortion or you don't you?
Well, anything can be deceptive.
Well, I suppose if you go far enough, I guess.
But I wonder what that was.
Bill Cosby sued by 9 more women. So that's a headline this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the one I don't understand. This is not, and I've never done any research on it, so I have no knowledge of what this is all about. Climate protesters smear paint on Monet. What? Why?
I know. I don't understand that at all.
What does a Monet painting have to do with climate change?
Well, Monet was obviously a terrible polluter.
Oh, was that back in the day? His horse pooped more than the other ones?
That son of a bitch.
No, but why would they? Why? Because isn't this about the 50th time it's happened that they're throwing paint on very famous paintings?
Now, what is the point?
What does that have to do with climate, though? On top of it,
I don't know.
What's the number here again? 952-600-2575. If you know, what point are they trying to make by destroying Monet? Beautiful, beautiful paintings.
Yeah.
What's the upside?
Well, it's like the people that are going, we need to take some of these sugary drinks out of school, so we're going to block 94 in the middle of rush hour traffic. And you're like, well, what the hell has that got to do with these?
Makes sense to me.
Why? Now you're just making me pissed off. I want sugary drinks in schools now because I can't get to where I need to go.
Indeed. And how do people just email you?
Oh, yeah, they just use the app. They have the app in the top left corner. It says,
good.
Yeah, there's a little talk bubble, and it's either feedback or email the show, and it goes straight to me.
What is the point? Because this is about the 40 or 50th painting they've destroyed. What's the point here?
I don't think Monet was responsible for those Canadian wildfires.
I'm almost positive he had nothing. He was not the arson.
No, we can be sure of nothing at this point.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
He's dead, though.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah,
You know?
for a
Yeah,
while.
but still, even he
It's called
he
the-
used to be alive.
It was the butterfly effect. Who
Yeah.
knows what Monet did back then that has affected the fires now?
You know, I'm hearing some very good things about Monet.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
No, I think it's pronounced money in this world. The only thing good you hear about in this world now is money, 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 money. It's all about money, baby.
Money talks.
So yes, maybe somebody could explain that to me sometime. We're going to have an expert on climate protesters smear paint on Monet. I don't that painting had to be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, first of all. So they're probably going to end up going to jail, aren't they?
I would think it'd be worth more than that even.
Yeah.
Probably millions.
Yeah.
You're probably right.
Remember a quaint time in life when people used to just go, give a hoot, don't pollute.
Yeah. You had an owl and a bear, if I remember correctly.
And now they just throw gallons of Benjamin Moore paint on a Monet.
Well, the problem was that Smokey the Bear. He died of terrible COPD thing.
Cocaine overdose.
Yeah, is that what it was?
Yeah, nobody can really. There's a lot of conspiracy theories of what he died. So
Yeah.
you guys don't get controversial on this show.
They should probably dig him up and do a really thorough autopsy.
Thank you. That's what my GoFundMe account that I've been raising money for. The bones of Smokey.
I can go back many, many years. I was hired many years ago, decades and decades ago, to be the voice of Smokey the Bear.
Whoa.
You know that?
It just works. That's all.
Lasted. No, it didn't work.
No.
I'm not making this up. Now, this was about 40, maybe even 45 years ago. So it was a different world back then,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
So I did the Only You Can Prevent Forest Fires, that whole deal.
Mm-hmm.
They decided they couldn't use my voice. You know why? Sounded too urban.
Oh.
Apparently, the Bears don't want to be in an urban commercial.
Well, that makes sense.
So it never aired.
They're in a
So,
rustic setting.
Yeah, rustic setting.
Well, I should say they used to be. Now they're like everywhere.
But I did this. Only y'all can prevent forest. Maybe that was the problem.
Maybe that was the problem.
That whole deal.
I also think the more you think about it, it is insane that his name is Smokey.
Well, it really is.
Yeah.
He is it's the one thing he's defending.
Yeah.
And his name is Smokey.
Yeah.
Like,
Wildfire the Bear.
how would you even compare that to? It's like if you went to Dr. Death for your main physician.
They were going to call him Oxy, but then that became impossible. So
Yeah.
What do you think of that action? Yeah, I don't know. That whole. I just don't. I'll move on because I've already brought it up 5 times. But I just don't understand. What the hell does Monet have to do with climate protesters? I just don't get the connection. Judd Zulgad might know. Do you know?
If anyone knows, it's Judd.
Yeah, Judd will know.
Tom, your voice is perfect for Smokey the Bear.
No, apparently you can't do it like this, though. Y'all should start a forest fire and now put it out. What you think, man?
I think your voice would have been absolutely perfect. It would have been great.
Yeah, instead I ended up being some bear for like a Cheez-Its commercial or something. So it was one of those deals,
That's pretty legit, too.
Oh, yeah, we still love Cheez-Its. Oh, you know what? At my house, though, because I have grandchildren now, Cheez-Its aren't good enough. They have to be extra cheesy Cheez-Its.
Oh, yeah. Or, they have the extra crisp ones.
Whose fault is that?
Mine.
Yeah, I mean, you exposed them to it.
You're right. It's my fault. There's no question about it.
I mean, that's
It's grandkids, though, right?
You don't even look
Yes,
like
grandkids.
Catherine.
Yeah, so that's
Yes, it's the grandkids, 7, 5, and 1.5, baby.
But you're supposed to spoil them. That's the whole thing. I feel like it's.
Yep.
I feel like you are actually doing your grandfatherly duties by buying the extra cheeses.
Well, I just thought it was time after, I don't know how many generations of my family, the men never telling anyone they loved them. So I tell my grandkids I love them every day. I love telling them that.
As you should.
Makes them very, very happy. I do. I love having kids. I love having grandkids. My wife is wonderful. I'd like to bitch and piss and moan about the world, but I just don't feel like it.
I feel the same way about your grandchildren.
You do. Mm-hmm. I know you do. You're absolutely right on the money.
I keep upping the offer with my kids.
To have children?
Yeah,
They're ever going to happen?
I'm up to $75 now.
$75.
$75 for the first one who produces a grandchild.
Uncle Tommy will kick in $25. We'll make it an even $100.
An even buck, yeah.
Even $100. There you go. You would love it, and you would be a great grandfather, by the way, because you care a lot.
No, I really would.
You would.
And I would spend less time gambling, too.
I could see that.
Keep in mind, not 0 time gambling.
No, I never said that.
He never said that.
No.
Let the record show.
Or would you teach them how to gamble, Mike? Like, I could see that.
Ooh, there you
That'd
go.
be a fun grandfather thing.
I had all my kids playing gin rummy by the age of 4.
I just want you to know, like, I bought Gogo a giant hat, and you are going to teach her the rules of Canterbury, right? Like, that's happening.
The rules of Canterbury.
Here's a little story that I think I can tell now. And the people who I don't want listening probably aren't listening anyway.
Well, you're driving them all
because they don't like the sound of my voice. But here's the thing. So Max, my middle son, he really likes playing cards. Always did.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the one who he once won $25,000 in it was like the National Collegiate Poker Tournament. It was this thing because Max is very good at playing poker, but he really does not risk oriented. Mm-hmm. So there was this big contest, and there were like 100,000 people or more in it.
Whoa!
And so he finished second, so he won $25,000. He should have won the whole. Should have finished first because it always comes down to one hand, and he had something like a 62% chance of winning. But it just didn't go that way, so he had to settle for second. Anyway, he comes home from school one day, and now he's a mild-mannered kid. You know about Max.
Yep.
He comes home, flings the door open, throws his backpack against the wall.
Ooh.
And stomps upstairs, goes into his room, slams the door. So it's like everyone is just shocked. So I figure, all right, I'm just waiting for the temperature to drop a little bit. So anyway, I go into his room eventually, and I say, what's going on? And he says, that goddamn Barghini. Now, he wasn't talking about Bobby, my friend. He was talking about Bobby's kid. I said, well, I said, what's going on? He said, well, I was dealing blackjack, in homeroom. And I can't believe it. He keeps doing all the wrong things. Like he splits kings, right? You don't split kings. Mm-hmm. He said,
right.
He's hitting on 17. He's doing all this stuff. And he's winning. And I said,
that's just to annoy you?
Well, just to annoy Max, yeah.
I guess.
So he said to me, I said to him, well, how much did you lose? He said, I lost $40.
Dang.
And he was like 15 at the time.
That's what I'm saying. That's a lot of money when you're.
But yeah. So I said, $40. I said, yeah, that's tough. I just gave him a little hug and I said, just keep dealing. You'll get it all back.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
most fathers would not have the wisdom to say that.
You're right.
No, they would not. That's great.
And then of course, there was the don't tell Mom I said that.
Yes.
I thought of you yesterday because I met a relative of Bobby Barghini's yesterday.
Yeah?
It's his brother that's married to Julia, is that right?
I think that's it. But yeah, Lori, her original name was Barghini.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Lori and Julia.
A cousin, yeah.
Oh, they're cousins?
Yeah.
Okay, because we talked about Bobby yesterday. I really do miss that guy, man. What a great guy.
Yeah, December 6th.
He died December 6th?
Yeah.
God, that was 6 months ago already?
Yeah.
See, I'm telling you, Mike, now that we're of a certain age, like they used to say, man, that time is flying by like there's no tomorrow. I cannot believe that was 6 months ago already.
Yeah.
Jesus, over 6 months ago already. That's shocking.
Should never have happened.
No, you're absolutely right. He was not very old, and he was one of the nicest men I've ever met.
No, I mean, everything in his life was really good. I mean, he loved his grandchildren.
Yeah.
And he spent a lot of time with them. And one of them played hockey, and he would drive like 50 miles at night to go see his grandson play hockey.
Oh, yeah.
And through a blizzard, it didn't matter. And I kind of tried to talk him out of it. I said, that could be dangerous. You're 70. You shouldn't really be driving at night anyway, let alone in a blizzard 50 miles. He had to go see those hockey games.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Bobby, we miss you. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
I'll try to lighten the moment by reading just a headline. I don't know what the hell this even means. Maybe you guys can figure it out for me. The headline in the news this morning, Swedish economist blames inflation on Beyonce. What?
Judd, fill us in on this.
Yeah, Judd. What are you talking about?
So, first of all, I'm going to take a guess and say that headline came from the, New York Post.
Oh, that's a good guess.
Yeah.
From Newser.
That would be a great Post type of reel you in and have nothing to do with the reality of the situation. That's my guess. It's like the Post.
He
the
said
tabloid.
he has proof that Stockholm concerts created a small but noticeable uptick in inflation. He can prove that she raised inflation. I guess if you can't raise inflation, it's already inflated. Never mind. But yeah, he does not like the fact that she's raising the price of everything. How many tinfoil dresses does this woman have? Every time I see her, a picture of her, she's wrapped up in tinfoil. What's that all about?
I got a question, though. Wait. If they're saying Beyonce, it seems to me that the person who would be fun to blame for this right now is Taylor Swift.
Yes.
Oh, no doubt about it.
That was my
Because
first
her
instinct,
concert,
too, yeah.
I got a buddy who got his daughter a ticket, who's going with friends. I think he said it was, and I think they got the ticket, so, through a miracle, through the Ticketmaster process, it's like $325.
Oh my gosh.
Uh-oh.
Well,
somebody's in trouble.
Here's the thing. If you bought it secondhand or you bought it, whatever, then that has nothing to do with the artist. And then Taylor Swift, I can't remember if they've won the lawsuit, but they are currently in a lawsuit with Ticketmaster because of the upcharges and the process that went down during the trying to buy those tickets. So,
yeah, the entire system is corrupt.
Yeah, it's awful. There are bands like the Foo Fighters and Pearl Jam that are out there trying to make it so that whatever tickets you buy, you have to be present, you have to be there, so you can't do secondhand because
no transferring.
Yeah, we just bought Pearl Jam tickets. It was $161 a ticket, and I was like, sadly, that's not that bad.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, and Metallica did it this crazy way. They are doing 2 nights here in Minneapolis, and they're doing it where if you want to go, you have to buy both tickets. They're not going to play any repeat songs, but you can't transfer at all. So what world can adult be like, oh yeah, 2 nights in a row, I'm going to go really hard at a concert with parking and all that stuff. And it's like, sometimes you go, this is, you're not helping out your fans here.
No, they're asking an awful lot.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know Metallica fans. There ain't a lot of going on in life except for Metallica.
That's true.
They're going to be there both nights, you're saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No canceled plans. But that's a lot. You're asking to pay for the whole experience twice. Parking, food, anything like that. Like driving out there 2 nights in a row.
I think it cost me something like $12.50 to see Who.
The Who?
Who. Yeah.
And that was a lot at the time, I bet. It's like, ooh, $12.50.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't sure I was willing to pay it, but it was all worth it because then I didn't have to listen to anything for 3 days.
Yeah, right.
Because I couldn't hear for 3 days.
Well, I'm sure that's true, exactly. By the way, I just thought I'd check in for you just to see how, get the temperature, get the climate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Taylor Swift is worth $450 million.
Sure.
Jesus.
That feels light.
Why is she charging so much for her tickets if she's already worth almost $500 million?
Well, because it would be humiliating to ask for anything less.
Well, maybe that's what it is.
I will say this. I would like to go see her.
Yeah, that's what everybody says.
And I'm
really
not
good.
in the demo, but I still would like to go see her.
Yeah. I'm so excited. I've got 1 week left. 1 week left until I go, and I'm so excited.
Where is it?
U.S. Bank.
Oh, U.S. Bank.
Yeah.
Okay.
I took my daughter when she was at XL probably, 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
U.S. Bank as well, if she was at Reputation.
No, this was at XL. For sure it was at XL.
Oh, XL, okay.
Yeah.
I wonder what tour that was.
Yeah, because I remember the band Haim had opened up, I believe.
Oh, that's such a good concert.
Yeah, and Haim. Yeah, there's a band called Haim. Yeah, it's 3 women from Los Angeles. They are great. They are such a good band.
Are they Jews?
And they are. Yes.
Yeah,
Gelfand and I are looking at each other. Haim.
Yeah, yeah, and they came to one of my shows. I was with John Kite, and John Kite knows them very well. And they came to one of our shows one night, and I called my daughter. I'm like, "You're never gonna believe who's in the crowd. The band Haim." She's like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Are you not impressed?" She's like, "I don't know. Are they coming to my birthday party? Because if not, who cares?"
Right?
I was like, "Oh, just forget it." Yeah.
And keep in mind,
Rudy, I'm sorry, that's really a letdown. You would think your kid would be so hyped.
I never saw Haim, but I did see Mashbuka.
Yeah, there you go. I was waiting for that show.
By the way, the whole Mashbuka.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's always the whole
little
Mashbuka.
bit.
Kinley's the only thing that keeps you humble, keep in mind. And that's why we love her for it. But, the Taylor Swift concert's one of those things that everybody focuses on how much it costs now to buy the tickets, like to get them secondhand. Their original prices of most of the seats were like $40, $49. They weren't that expensive. It was just then doubled at Ticketmaster. So things ended up being about $100 for a lot of those. So it wasn't crazy. It's not like she was like, I want this much, and that's why she had all these lawsuits with Ticketmaster. And then the process of avoiding the secondhand sales, that's where things went haywire. Is that all these people, they have these bots on there to try to buy a bunch and then sell them later, and it just crashed the system.
I guess the problem, though, for parents is this. As soon as you go into the stadium, the next thing is to go to the merch tent at which you can buy your Taylor merch.
Oh,
and I guess there's huge lines there. And guess what? That's not cheap. So
Well,
you're
Judd,
just basically a second mortgage here.
You can go ahead and beat the system because she has all that stuff online. So
Yeah.
if you don't want to go an hour early and you're 37 years old, you can go ahead, buy your sweatshirt there, and then just wear it the day after and act like you got it there.
Yeah. I took my daughter. We had to do like an appearance at like the Disney on Ice. And she was young. Kinley was like 5.
Oh, I can't even imagine how much money you dropped there.
And, well, it was because I had to do the appearance for the radio station, so it was free. But the women in front of us, their kids got up and went to the concession stand, and the one woman looked at her friend and said, "If Greg knew that I spent $400 on tonight," I was like, $400 for ice capades?
Jesus.
My parents never spent $400 on us, period. Ever.
That would have been my whole life.
Yes.
Yeah.
$400, yeah.
You just can't leave the house with kids without being like, all right, which organ am I selling? Because
that right.
I mean, I took my nephews to this dinosaur experience over at the convention center. It was just these, big fake dinosaurs, and the upcharge on everything was like, oh, you want to go in the bounce house? Oh, it's an extra $20. I'm like, and of course he sees it. I'm not going to be like, Finn, no. All these other kids are enjoying it. Taking a kid out of the house, just don't do it. Just
did they have a Sid Hartman booth there?
Oh, Sydney.
Oh, look at you.
Sydney.
Shots fired.
Let me tell you something.
The thing is, though, look at
Gelfand.
son of a bitch. It went too far this time.
Like always, you go too far. It's unbelievable. I was talking to Chad.
The thing is, like, no matter how much money you spend to take your kid to Taylor Swift, let's say, it's well worth it because it's a memory that you'll have forever, and you'll especially cherish it like 5 years later when the kid's asking to go see Lil Pimp.
Yeah, there you go. Little Pimp, but that's even more expensive.
well, in more ways than one.
We have to go to break here, but I will tell you this, and I can promise you this. If I ever look in my wallet and I have $450 million, you guys ain't ever going to see me again. I can promise you that. What happened to Tom?
You are such a liar.
Oh, I would disappear.
You are such a liar.
You crave this thing.
Yes.
You can't quit.
Being with you two?
Well,
you must.
What the hell?
I don't think you'd retire, though, Tom, so I think they're right. Like, you might go elsewhere, but I think you'd still be a presence.
Judd, do you think for 2 seconds this man couldn't technically retire 10 years ago? There's no...
You know what, though? I'll defend him on this. I am with him.
Yeah.
I'm with him completely.
See?
Why retire? Especially from jobs like this that we enjoy doing. It's not like we're doing construction here.
No, exactly.
No
I'm
heavy
with Tom
lifting.
completely.
I'm with you. I agree. But yeah, you pretending like that's the thing that's keeping you from retiring.
Oh, the big dough, like $450 million. That's exactly
I always
right.
say, it's my job is great because there's no heavy lifting. I leave that to Tom.
So there you go.
Hey-oh.
And that's just when I pee. I had I had to throw that in.
That was actually really funny.
I had to throw that in.
You know, I've been using that joke for like 40
I know
years.
you have. That's why I looked at you when I said it. So there you have
That's
it, Pally.
funny.
All right, we do have to take a break. Be right back in a couple of minutes. More with Judd and Mike Gelfand and the three Hunyucks that are always here. We'll be right back. It's Tom Barnard for the Power Lodge and the world's largest Bennington pontoon dealer, Miller Marine in St. Cloud. Temps are up, prices are down. We just hit 88 degrees, so Miller Marine and Power Lodge are offering hot 88 summer deals for the next 2 weeks only. Get a Bennington pontoon for $28,888, and as a bonus, the first 8 pontoons come with a trailer for $1,888. Finance it all for just $288 a month. Want something larger? Get a Tri-Tune starting at $43,888 or just $488 a month. With over 300 pontoons in stock, they've got what you need at the world's largest Bennington dealer, Miller Marine and Power Lodge. Payment terms and credit limits are subject to credit approval, so come on. It's time to get serious about your throttle therapy with this 2-week deal until June 17th. Check selection at powerlodge.com and millermarine.com. Hot 88 summer deals with Bennington pontoons are now at the Lodge and Miller Marine. And please tell them Tommy sent you.
The new Tom Barnard Morning Show is proud to have partners like North American Banking Company, Bradshaw & Bryant, MyPillow, and attorney and advertiser Dave Bialke.
I've been advertising on Tom Barnard shows for years. I like Tom, not just because he's a good guy, but because the ads I run on his show bring me new clients that are hurt at work and need legal help. Tommy B works for me.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner.
All right. I know it's smoky outside, but you know who else is hot, hot, hot? Judd and that fine body. Tell me more.
Well, Brittany, thank you so much. I'm flattered, but it's not me. It's my friends at Livia Weight Control Centers who have created this, well, can I say, pretty good-looking guy through the loss of 40 pounds a couple of years ago, actually. Most important thing is they're going to help you maintain the weight loss. They're dietitians and nutritionists, absolutely there for you every step of the way, and that's the most important thing. And right now, 8 weeks for free. So we're talking 8 weeks. We're talking 15 to 20 pounds off before you ever make a payment, and you're going to see the magic here of the Livia program. 855-GO-LIVIA, livia.com, LIVEA.com. Give them a try and lose that weight.
Tube it up, baby.
Tube it, baby.
The Tube, Scoot, and Boogie. That was behind the scenes of our conversation.
Did you do everything there you're supposed to do?
Mm-hmm.
Judd delivered a fantastic commercial.
My intro was sexy.
Oh, so the intro is even better.
These two have chemistry.
It's hot to the touch.
Yeah. Have you seen when Harry met Sally?
What? She called me hot. It was very, very exciting.
There is.
It's been a long time
energy in the air.
since I've heard the words hot associated with Judd.
And you know what else is exciting, Judd? Our Minnesota Twins.
Oh, we got to talk about Twins. He's right.
Just when you think they're done, right? Just when you think the offense is gone. I guess now we come to find out via Rocco postgame yesterday after they beat the Brewers that there was a come to Jesus meeting in Tampa with the hitters and the coaching staff.
Yeah.
And they all talked about approach. And I mean, it's, Saturday was impressive because I thought that they were dead at 3-1 in Toronto. They came back and scored a bunch of runs.
Right.
Sunday is a terrible loss. I mean, you're up 6-1.
Yes.
But the last two games, I'm not saying that they are the 1972 Oakland A's, but at least they're scoring some runs now. And Mike, this goes back to what we've talked about a lot, which is the starting pitching, especially. They're good enough where they deserve at least some support, and you can win games now. And so, this is at least, I think, acceptable compared to what we were watching a week and a half ago.
And I'll tell you this, I've been in Tampa a few times, and even I would come to Jesus there. God, what a horrible place.
Yeah, there are parts of Tampa not that great. You're absolutely right about that.
Yeah, it's just...
Why don't you go to Tarpon Springs and go sponge diving with the Greeks?
Well, I've been there, sure.
You've been there?
I don't like Tampa. Really? You don't like Tampa? Now my big town that I can't stand is Houston, Texas.
I agree. I don't like Texas.
Unzoned,
I don't like
complete mess.
That's a sprawl for you.
Like you have. It's the only city I've ever been to where it feels like there's a church, a liquor store, another church, and a whorehouse all right next to each other because there's absolutely zero zoning.
Yeah, no, Houston just happened.
Kind of did, didn't it?
Yeah, it's totally out of control.
And their freeway system is the worst I've ever driven on.
Yeah, and it's
terrible.
like, what is it, like the fifth biggest city in the country or so?
That's about right, yeah.
And that was never anticipated.
I got to believe you're probably right. Now, San Antonio, I love. That's a great thing.
Now there's
Never been.
There's diversity there.
Really nice town.
That's the thing about Houston, it's just, and also Houston, I think for as long as I can remember, even before the internet, had probably the biggest newspaper in the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Don't you think so, Judd?
Is that a Chronicle?
The Chronicle.
I haven't. You know what? I never actually saw it that much, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, no,
I'm not surprised.
It's probably just not valued, which is a big problem.
What are all those people now that, let's say these people were newspaper reporters, radio reporters, TV reporters, what are they going to do? Because that's just about over.
Pretty much selling plasma.
That's what it is. Just sell a little bit of plasma.
Terrible.
It is not good, man.
No, you go back 20 years ago. Since then, about 70% of all newspaper employees have lost their jobs.
That's correct. Yeah, that's
70%.
Exactly right. Yep.
So you got, I don't know. Well, Judd, you go from city to city occasionally, right?
Occasionally now,
Not very often now with
not
your,
like
with
I
your
used
gig
to
here,
back in
but
the
you
day.
used to.
Mhm.
And it used to be you'd go to every city, and the first thing you'd want to do, because if you were a journalist, and you didn't really have much of a life, you'd like buy 4 different newspapers.
Yeah.
And that would pretty much
Amen.
take you across the whole country now.
Well, we used to have the Star and the Tribune, man. It was a whole different deal back then.
Oh yeah, no, then came the internet, then came the merger.
Yep.
Of course, the Star was never any good anyway.
Especially when you were there.
Well, I worked at the Tribune.
I know
so,
you did.
So yeah.
You couldn't stand the Star.
No, I hate it.
The catch here is that actually, as bad as the Wolves have been an embarrassment, Glenn Taylor had saved the Star Tribune. Because, I mean, if you look at a comparative to papers that we used to think is far superior, right? Like the Chicago Tribune, Los Angeles Times, the Star Tribune's in good shape. But, I mean, I think the Pioneer Press now, I don't even know what their staff is, but it's bare bones. The last I heard, that paper was actually being designed by a satellite bureau in Denver.
No, everything's in Denver because the owners who the people who own the St. Paul paper own 30 different newspapers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's about right, isn't it, Judd?
I think it is, and it's a hedge fund, right?
It's a hedge fund, of course.
Well, no wonder it's doing so well.
And in Denver, like people say, well, they don't have editors anymore, these newspapers. No, they have editors. All 30 newspapers have editors. It's just that there's 6 people in Denver.
Yeah,
who are the editors of all 30 papers.
I cannot tell you the last time I read a newspaper. I
Well,
can't.
I
used to read
this
every
morning
day.
for me, but
Really, Tom?
I literally used to read the paper every day, and I have not picked up a newspaper other than to throw it away in years.
Well, you mean like a real newspaper?
A real newspaper.
Oh well,
yes.
yeah.
Oh no, I read it on the internet. Hold the newspaper in my hand.
Right, yeah.
It's been years.
Oh yeah.
Like you don't go buy the physical copy of the Star Tribune.
Right.
See, I
used to
still love that.
I loved it back when I was a kid.
I'll never get past that though.
Good,
Like I still
good.
go buy the paper and page through it just because it's part of my life.
How can you page through something that's only 2 pages long?
Well, the Star Tribune is. Look, I don't think it's very good anymore compared to what it used to be. But it is a real newspaper, and you'd be thrilled to have it in almost any other city.
Yeah, I'm sure that's true.
So that's the whole thing. It's like I always told my kids. I expect you to get A's because everybody's graded on a curve.
See? What do you think of that?
That's
action?
true of
What do
newspapers
you-
too.
Yeah, it is. It's a whole different world, man. Back in the day when you had the Muntz TV with the television, radio, and the phonograph, and then you got the newspaper sitting there reading her by the fire. Boy, that's going back a long way, like 25 years.
And now every couple weeks I do buy the actual newspaper, the Star Tribune.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Mostly because I need it to line my litter box.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
You never pick up the sports page and look at box scores for old time's sake?
You know,
See,
it's
I still do that occasionally just because I like that.
Such a thrill to look at box scores. I mean, I was looking at box scores when I was 5 years old. And you're right, there's nothing like looking at a box score at a newspaper. Online, it's just not the same thing.
No. The thing, too, where it's unfortunate that media didn't learn, because newspapers were the first cautionary tale, and they taught it and it was ignored, was this. Because I remember when I was at the Star Tribune, and before the web hit that a big blip where people thought that it was done, and then of course it came back incredibly strong. The newspaper philosophy, and I'm not joking here, you guys, was to literally hope that the internet wouldn't succeed.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Like,
you're right.
They're all like, this is going to be no. The physical paper won't be. And they didn't hire enough young people to say, hold on, no, this is coming. So that's why they have literally been scurrying to try to catch up as far as like subscriptions since then, because there was never a strategy from newspapers, which is why a lot of them just died.
Well, yeah, and one of the things that newspapers didn't do was they didn't figure out that they needed to do something about the car ads.
Yeah.
They needed to have another medium for that.
Yeah.
And you know, they could have put out a free Star Tribune auto ad thing.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But they didn't, and they lost just, you know, millions and millions of dollars in advertising there. And it's too late though. I don't think they'll never get that back. Now I think their biggest profit center is the obituaries.
And that's what I was going to say. When's that going to end?
Well, eventually, probably, but I don't know. I mean, it's the good thing. The good thing about the obituaries for newspapers, the reason they're making a lot of money is that obituaries are mostly read by elderly people.
Yeah,
and it's elderly people who read the newspaper.
That's exactly right. I remember being a little boy, maybe 10, something like that. Star Tribune building downtown, the old one, had a sign on top of it.
Talking about 425 Portland.
That's exactly right. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Top of the building when I was a little boy was a sign, a standing sign that said over 650,000 subscribers. And I was thinking, well, wait a minute, there's only about 1 million people in the entire state. Back then, I mean, 650,000. That's a huge number for back then. I mean, outside of New York, Chicago, Los Angeles.
Well, but a lot of them were elderly people who forgot they subscribed, so they subscribed twice.
So they did it twice.
2 Sunday papers.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, Matilda, why do we have 2 Sunday papers?
Well, but you know, that was like a whole day, the Sunday newspaper.
It was, yes. It was about that thick, too.
Oh, yeah, no.
Really thick.
It's you got up and you went out and got that thing from your front steps, and you spent the day leisurely. You know, you were in bed, you were having coffee, you read the whole newspaper throughout the day. I don't think anyone does that anymore.
No, they don't. And another thing I got to tip my cap to, it was the Morning Star and the Afternoon Tribune, correct?
Yeah.
So I have to thank
a Morning Tribune, Afternoon Star.
Afternoon is the other way around.
Yeah.
I couldn't. It was so long ago. I knew it was one or the other.
I only know because I worked for both newspapers.
Well, I didn't know that.
I worked. I worked right out of college. I got a job on the Minneapolis Star copy desk, and I waited. I waited for 3 weeks to put in my notice. I worked there 3 weeks before I put in my notice.
That was it? That was
enough?
Well,
I'm working there one day, and it's like, you know, I come in at 6 a.m., so you know that's not going to work.
Right.
And I'm always the last. There's like 8 people on the copy desk, and I never once beat one of them to work.
Yeah, there you go.
I was always the last one. And then after 3 weeks, I'm sitting there in the copy desk, and I'm writing a headline. And I'm trying not to fall asleep. And then I get a phone call. Hey, there's a call for you. It's the Wall Street Journal. So
you're good.
So I said, that's it, baby. I'm out of here.
Yeah, I'm good. You're good to go. No question.
But so I worked for both. But the biggest thrill for me working on the Star copy desk, I got to do the People in the News roundup.
Oh, sure.
Only on Saturdays I got to do it. And so what I did was, you know, in those days you had Judd, you probably don't remember this from your tenure, but we had all these like half column pictures that they.
Oh yeah,
You remember the half columns?
Yep.
I remember in Sid's column those years and years ago.
So the half columns really drew people in. So every Saturday I would have a half column of my two favorites were Jane Mansfield and Rin Tin Tin.
Oh, there you go.
That people loved both of them. But I made sure there was never anything in there about either.
Good man.
So people would just go crazy. They'd see that and they'd be looking, well, I can't find the Rin Tin Tin story.
Cold, man.
Yeah, well, I had to get my kicks somehow.
They catch on?
No, nobody.
Your bosses?
Well,
That's
luckily,
fantastic.
after 5 weeks, I was gone. So, no, nobody. If they did, they just went along with it. But I suppose I could have gotten fired for that.
No, not you.
Yeah.
No way.
I bounced back.
I actually owe it to the Morning Tribune then, the Sunday Tribune, correct?
Yeah.
I did not know this, but I discovered my sexual identity because of that newspaper.
Really?
I did not have any idea that's what it was at the time, but I will never forget it. 5 years old, I picked up the Sunday Star Tribune, which was delivered to our house every Sunday, and I looked in the comic section and saw Blondie from Blondie and Dagwood, and I knew right away where Tommy wanted to end up, baby.
Game over.
Wasn't that great? The days when you had
it was phenomenal.
Comics and comic books.
Yes.
And comic books with
Comic books,
and all the women in there were blonde and busty.
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. I'm like 5 years old and going, God damn.
Yeah, I mean, I still have dreams about Veronica.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I don't remember what that was. That was
Archie.
Dad.
Archie. Yeah, it was Archie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Archie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Archie and Veronica. Do you have to go, Judd?
I do have to run, but I will
thought so.
talk to you guys again next week.
We didn't even
See y'all.
have
See you,
baseball,
Mike.
damn it.
Twins are playing well. They're winning some games. Finally, Tom is not upset. That's the most important.
Yeah.
Tom's not pissed off at the world because of the
Tom's
Twins.
not pissed off. See you guys. Bye.
Thanks a lot, Judd.
Hey, Judd.
Judd Zulgad, ladies and gentlemen. Skor North, of course. So in any case, yeah, we just we're slogging through life, and now I'm going to have Blondie in my head all day. It's because of you guys.
Yeah.
Remember, she always wore a blue dress, and she was very shapely. Let me put it that way.
They were all shapely.
They were all shapely.
Yeah.
Yes, they were.
Because it was a comic book and they were caricatures.
But the guys were dopes. Every one of the guys was a dope.
Well, yeah, because they just assumed that people who read comic books were either horny or stupid.
Well, so that worked out perfectly.
And
Worked out great.
Takes in all of us.
It's like every sitcom in the early 2000s where it was like the King of Queens is like, no, I don't know if that would.
Yeah.
That dopey big old guy, and then Leah Remini.
She was terrific.
She's gorgeous too.
She really is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great sister. Her sister used to come and sit on the show once in a while.
Yeah, they're great.
Remember
We have them a lot on My Talk because she'll talk Scientology.
See, I was always skeptical, I have to say, of Leah because of her connections to Scientology. But she got out of there.
She did.
Oh,
get
did
out
she
of it.
now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
That's
that.
what she'll talk about. She's now on this whole
anti-Scientology.
take them down.
What is Scientology anyway? What is it? What's the basis of the?
Ron Hubbard.
Is it a religion?
Yes.
Oh, it is.
Well,
Okay.
they claim it is.
They claim it's a religion.
So that they can be tax-free.
Yeah.
Of course. What a shock.
In the meantime, they're making, millions and millions of dollars.
Everything's about money. Everything is about money.
Well, it's about money and it's about mortality too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
Because once you're clear, you don't
clear
have to,
is that's their thing.
I
That's
would
right.
love to be clear.
Yeah,
I've
but
been
you
paying
have
a
to-
lot of money,
you
and
have
I'm
to
not
donate
even close.
millions to be clear. Yeah.
So what is clear? How do you know you're clear?
Well, you got to tell them all your secrets. You go on these machines and you hold these little special things, and you have to tell them all your secrets. And they'll read the energy that you're putting out, and they'll say, oh, you've got, luckily, you've got, a good thing you're here. You have all these things going on.
Good thing you're here.
And also, we're going to have to do 40 more sessions. So here's the price package we can give you. And on top of it, now we have all these secrets about you. So we're going to go ahead and blackmail you later.
Yeah.
Right.
But you just keep coming back and you tell us all your demons, and we're going to figure this out together. So.
And they really exploit depressives.
Oh, do they really?
Oh, depressives, yeah.
Who doesn't? What organization doesn't?
Well, they got the depressives. They're the ones who you see selling candles in airports.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I guess not anymore, but that used to be it. Maybe now on the streets. But they're basically they're raising money for them, but they're obviously living far below the poverty level, and that's why the Church of Scientology is bitterly opposed to antidepressant medication.
Oh, it's because they can't run them then. They can't control them.
I mean, seriously, how crass is that?
That's so bleak.
One of my favorite stories of all time about that whole deal was because didn't they used to say, come on in for your clear evaluation or whatever it was called? Well, Craig Schumacher, you remember Shoe Bob?
Well, of course.
He went in, he had no interest in joining. He just wanted to go and see what it was all about, right? They threw him out because they would say a word, and it was your job, and they would tell you ahead of time, I'm going to say a word, and you cannot react to this word. You can't be happy, you can't be angry, you can't be sad. Just focus on the word I'm saying and not what the word means.
What?
They finally had to throw Schumacher out because he would not stop laughing. Because the guy sat there with a very serious, this actually happened, by the way.
Yeah.
Very serious look at his face. So I'm looking at Mike like this guy would be looking at Shoe Bob. And he kept going, fart, fart. And apparently Shoe Bob just laughed his ass off. They finally said, this is just not going to work for you. You're going to have to leave.
Jeez.
Who the hell wouldn't laugh at the word
Well,
fart?
I was going to say that eliminates all our listeners.
Yeah, well, exactly. You're all out now. You'll never make it.
I mean, the morning show lived on farts. Let's face it.
That's true. What? So is there a big presence of them in Minnesota now? I don't even know. There used to be, but I don't think
They've got a beautiful building in
Oh,
downtown
do they?
St. Paul.
St. Paul, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Is that so? They put up the celebrities there.
Yeah, the big time. I don't know. I don't know. They must be really prevalent, but you just don't hear about it very often here in
not at all.
Minnesota.
Probably California is where they're strongest.
Yeah,
That's where they're based, isn't it? I think.
And that's where they have like the luxury hotel.
Oh, do they really?
So that if you're a celebrity and you're into Scientology, you get to stay there for free.
Oh, okay.
And they wait on you and all that stuff. Yeah, a lot of it is built around celebrities. Well, because, that's marketing.
The only thing I have against Giovanni Ribisi, I love him other than the fact that he's in all that crap.
Yeah.
I don't know how he got talked into that one, but I do like him as an actor. He was just in After Waco. He was really good. He was one of the attorneys in that. Hell of an actor. Hell of an actor, I think. But I don't know. I don't need. Look, if God wants to reach out to me, God will reach out to me. Don't you think? I don't have to go through any religion, any of that stuff. If there is a God, and I hope there is, obviously, greater good would be nice.
Sure.
So if you want to reach out, good. And if you don't want to reach out, I'll get to you later.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not waiting by the phone, but...
No. You think God would call you? Gelfand.
Collect.
Yeah, calling. I got a collect call from heaven and call right in. No, we all hope. Some people get very upset because they're so anti-religion. I'm not pro or anti-religion. I'm like, hey, whatever works out, works out. I hope everybody's happy, right?
Religion's like almost anything. You can use it for good. You can use it for evil.
No doubt about that.
So a lot of people are doing both.
A lot of them lean to that evil side. They lean evil, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get into that. But,
Well, it's a control issue.
But yeah, it's a lot of it is that, and a lot of it is about people who just feel like they can't control themselves unless they have this sort of guardrail.
Oh, isn't that so true?
I have a guardrail named Catherine. Works perfectly.
Well, exactly.
Works beautifully for me is all I have to say, ladies and gentlemen.
She's your Scientology, and you've paid also for that.
Yes, that's exactly
As my
right.
husband has also paid for his guardrail as well.
Just how it has to be, ladies and gentlemen.
Not cheap. We're not
That's
cheap.
all I'm telling. Well, no, that's probably true. I got to check the weather here very quickly because it's looking really good. Hazy sunshine, brighter skies later this afternoon as the thickest smoke pushes through the metro. Thank God to get out.
Can't breathe out there.
My eyes burned so bad yesterday.
Yeah,
It was
no,
unbelievable.
I
It's terrible.
walked outside and I started coughing.
Oh, yeah? It's going to be 80 today, partly cloudy tomorrow, tonight, partly cloudy tonight with a low of 54. Then tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high of 83. On Saturday, partial sun, maybe a few afternoon thunderstorms passing through, though, a high of 86. It is 64 and sunny right now, as a matter of fact. We shall take a break. My God, this show blew by quickly today. Man, must mean it's not horse shit. What do you think?
I'm enjoying it.
Is it an indicator?
It's not horse poop. That's our only promise.
Works for me. We'll be right back right after this. I'm just now at the end of my 60-day weight loss program with mnfatloss.com. I've lost over 25 pounds. I do feel fantastic. And I really do. I'm sleeping a lot better and a whole deal. And that's a big deal to me. Getting around's a lot easier, too. My clothes fit better. There just really isn't a downside to losing the weight, you know. Now I'll be going into the maintenance phase of the MN Fat Loss program for a while, adding in a few more food choices to the mix. I love the program so much that I'm planning to go back to the weight loss program with the goal of losing another 25, maybe even 30 pounds. I haven't decided yet. You'll absolutely be able to lose weight like I've done and still enjoy the foods you love this summer. If you want to find out the secret to losing 20 to 30 pounds in just 8 weeks, just like I did, that's about a pound of fat every day, no exercise required. To schedule your free consultation, go to mnfatloss.com. That's mnfatloss.com. Results may vary. Be sure to tell them the team at mnfatloss.com that Tom Barnard sent you. You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust, who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you. Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation, 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. God, it's 9:48 already. Unbelievable. 12 minutes till 10 o'clock. I got to run this by you guys, and particularly, I guess, I don't know what the hell this is all about, but it's about a comedy club, so we'll get Rudy's take on this whole situation. Jocelyn Chia. Do you know Jocelyn Chia?
I don't.
I don't either. Never heard of her. Jocelyn Chia said it is ridiculous for Malaysian police to get Interpol involved in their investigation of a joke she made about missing flight MH370. The American comedian tells the BBC that she joked about the flight in a New York City comedy club, and a clip posted on social media was out of context. Americans can appreciate humor that is harsher, edgier, and more in your face as compared to Asia, where the stand-up comedy scene is still in its early days. In other words, there is no comedy scene in Asia. That's what they're saying there, I would think. You won't find a lot of edgy comedy in Asia. She says she wishes she could have seen the face of the Interpol officer who received this request, contradicting claims made by Malaysian police that it has not received a request for assistance. But this story never gets to the what's the point?
Yeah.
Malaysian Airlines going to miss going missing, not funny, huh? Some jokes don't land. Video of the joke was posted. Well, what's the joke, for Christ's sake?
What's the joke?
That's actually kind of funny. She's talking about a plane that never reached its destination, and then she says some jokes don't land. That's actually kind of funny.
Well, it's all right. I mean,
That's good. I like it. I'm not mad at it.
I did once see an Indian,
from India
comic, and it is a little rough. It's like, joke doesn't land, and he says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I probably should not have said that." Very polite people.
Yeah, well, that's true.
And I don't know that would work on a stage.
The owner of the Comedy Cellar, where Chia was performing at the time, made a similar observation in the New York Times. You can get away with saying stuff that's kind of outrageous. You can't put that same moment into a small screen. You're watching over morning coffee. Do you think that's true? So something in a comedy club as opposed to something on small screen TV, what's the difference?
Well, like she said, it was probably taken a little bit out of context, which does happen. Yeah. Not a lot, but it definitely does happen. But I feel like with comedy, we need to treat it like it's capitalism. Like, as a business owner, you put out the product, and we, the consumer, will either kill it or we will accept it, and then we will buy it. Whereas a comedian, you're allowed to throw out any joke that you want, and we, the consumer, will tell you if it's funny or not.
Well, I agree.
Yeah. But Rudy, the tough part there, I think, I'm not a comic, but the tough part from what I've observed is that you might tell a joke, and you might be playing a let's say you're at Acme. You might tell a joke and it'll just totally bomb.
Yes.
But the next day you might tell the same joke to a different crowd and they might just eat it up.
Yeah. So when I do an hour, I have an hour that I use for Minneapolis, and then I have one that I use for Mankato. And they are completely different because there are times you can get away with you can get away with so much more in small towns in Minnesota than you can, because just like we're so woke in the city. You can't make jokes about this. And even if you make a mention of it, you are totally, you lose the crowd because they don't want to hear it, even if you're on their side.
Yeah.
I made a joke one time after the Kansas City Chiefs lost the Super Bowl. And it was during that time when the Washington Redskins, were changing their name to the what are they, the Commanders? Yeah. And I said, listen, if you're going to be one of those teams that still uses an Indian name and you refuse to change it, if you lose the Super Bowl, you should be forced to give up your stadium. I mean, listen, if you're going to use like an Indian name, you got to go along with the same things, man. Like they had to give up their land to the white man. So if you lose the Super Bowl, you got to give up your stadium. And I was siding with people that want there to be a name change with some of these teams, and a woman lost her mind. How dare you? You're supposed to be better than that. You're a racist. I was like, lady, I think we're on the same side here. I'm saying that people should change those names.
Yeah,
yes.
like I'm making fun of the whole thing.
What was she upset about? I don't get it.
I don't get it. Why she
was just a topic that obviously she felt passionate about. And I think any mention of it, she would just assume negativity.
Yeah.
But Rudy, the thing is that I've certainly observed at Acme and other places is that the crowd, they're just totally apolitical. You don't have a lot of people with strong political feelings going to a place like Acme. That's why those political jokes, whatever they are, just they don't land because these people they're just not into politics. They're, that's my observation, and so I don't. That's strange though.
It's gotten much better over the last couple of years, and I don't do politics anyways. But there's a couple of like Robert Burrell. Very political comic from Minneapolis. Right. And, man, there are some nights he goes out and destroys. Mm-hmm. And then there are some nights he gets up on stage and he's like, I should have just stayed home tonight because you guys are obviously not into this. Yeah. So.
Why do you think it is that some people let politics just be the biggest weight in their life, that everything's based on their political views? Why would you want to live your life like that?
I feel like it's you have nothing else going on.
Yeah, probably. It's got to be.
It's like the same people who let the loss of a Twins game. They lose game number 83 on the year, and they're just ruined for the rest of the day. I'm like, who cares?
All right, don't talk to me anymore.
I was gonna say
you're out of the mix.
Well,
forget it.
That could be the death knell of comedy because the country's so polarized.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
so it's people from each side, from every side, who are totally dominated by their political Weltanschauung.
And based on hatred more than anything else.
Well, yeah, because hatred is so much more powerful than love.
Absolutely. It's just depressing. First of all, you're a moron, so you don't know what you're talking about. Calm down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Most people.
Yeah.
It's just relax. It doesn't affect you anywhere near as much as you think it does. And once again, you can be Republican, you can be Democrat. It's not about that. It's about money. All that matters is money to the world now. Isn't that disgusting?
You're saying it's money and not Monet.
That's exactly. Not any longer.
I wanted to bring us back.
Yes. We're bringing back to throwing paint on a Monet this morning. I like that.
Beautiful. I love what you did there.
Beautiful there. It's
gorgeous.
A little over the top. But
I mean, as a leftist myself, I've always felt like right-wing comedians, I just think it's almost impossible because comedy is based on, at least the stuff I like, is basically based on a hatred of authority. It's like
that's true.
The Marx Brothers, a great example.
Great example.
But I feel like deep down, most people, not maybe it's fewer every day, but most people have some sort of grudge against authority.
Yeah, I think that's probably true.
And so if your comedy is based on a love of authority, God, yeah, that's a tough one.
Well, but I think the best joke I've ever told is about an alcoholic radio manager.
Yeah.
I'm just leaving it right there. Oh, that caught on quickly with Mikey, didn't it?
Oh, yeah, well.
But, you got about 20 to choose from. So.
Right?
Oh, right.
Which one? I know, even me, I was like...
Yeah, but I just chose one.
Yes, you did, and I saw it in your eyes. There's no question about it. Yeah, I just, the whole thing now is just calm down. As I said, Mike, I talked about how happy it was to be with my wife, to be with our children. You and I talked about grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. We had a great time. I met wonderful people, went over to Hubbard yesterday, could not have been treated better. My life doesn't suck anywhere near as much as most Republicans and Democrats. Their lives just suck. Why do you want to put up with that?
Well, yeah, it's people, I mean, a nerve, for good reasons, but a nerve has been touched there. And part of it is, it's not so much, in my opinion, what you're saying, I totally agree with, but the problem isn't so much that people have chosen to believe this. It's just the problem is that, there's this warning signal going off in their brain. And part of that is just because there are things going on that shouldn't be going on.
And the other part of that is we've been taught around the world, not just in America, but we've been taught that we're a lot smarter than we really are. And that was a huge mistake.
Oh, yeah.
I was walking out of my niece's dance recital the other day, and I heard a dad say to his daughter, "You were the best one up there."
Yeah.
And I was like, "You're creating. What are you doing?
Yep.
You're creating a
But
terrible
honestly,
adult."
I was at that too. In his defense, she was the best
one up there, obviously. Yeah. I mean, I didn't disagree with him. I'm just saying, don't tell her.
Yeah, well.
Your niece needs to step it up, is what I'm trying to say.
I used to coach T-ball.
Yes, I remember that.
And I loved coaching T-ball.
Mm-hmm.
It was so much more fun than when they get older.
Yeah.
And everything is real serious.
It's real serious, yes.
Yeah, no,
Yep.
T-ball's the best. I would coach T-ball every day if I could.
I wish life were T-ball.
I know,
That's what I have to say.
I just, because I just wanted my kids to stay at 6 years old so I could keep doing it. But the thing is, like parents would, their kid would like strike out, It's hard to do in T-ball.
It is hard to do in
now,
T-ball.
But not impossible.
Nobody strikes out anymore in T-ball.
No, they don't.
They
That's
used to,
right.
but now
Yep.
now it doesn't matter.
You're right.
Now the umpire just, if there's an umpire or a parent, whatever, just sort of, when the kid's not looking, knocks the ball off the tee so they can run. But like, so they're just not hitting the ball. And the parents would applaud, "Nice swing, Jimmy." And I'd have to go over to the parent and I'd say, "Look, let's leave some room for improvement here, okay?"
Areas of opportunity,
Because
is what
that's
they
the
call them.
whole point of this. Really, is that if they keep trying, they get better. That's the lesson in life they're learning.
If you keep trying,
yeah.
yes.
So let's save the applause for when they hit the ball.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Oh, all you care about is winning. No, we're not even keeping score.
Right.
I've got a lot of money on this game, okay?
Yeah, come on.
Here's a good way to close it. This is exactly what we're talking about. I'm looking at the Wall Street Journal right now, the front page. Just jumped on here.
Great newspaper.
Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 34,242. It's up 0.77%, almost 1%.
Because of inflation, right? Inflation is
You are
cooling down.
Well, now here's the problem. That was my takeaway.
Yeah.
Right below that in the Wall Street Journal is the headline, "Powell's phrasing suggests July rate increase is likely." If the Dow Jones is up to 34,260 or 246, why do we need a rate increase?
He's saying that just after they didn't raise the rate.
That's correct. Unless they did they raise them last night late or something?
I don't think so.
I don't see anything on here about that. But why is it that the Dow Jones average is the highest it's ever been, or at least 34,269 is about, that's the highest it's ever been, isn't it?
It's right up there.
If it's not, it's right up there. And right under that, Powell's phrasing suggests July rate increase is likely. What's really going on here then? That's my question.
I don't
Something's
understand.
going on because that makes no sense, right?
I don't get it. I mean, when I worked for the Wall Street Journal, people would come up to me and they'd say, "Well, what's going on with the market, today?" And I'd say, "Well, gosh, I don't know." They'd say, "Well, what about Pillsbury stock? Is that going to go up?" And I'd say, "Well, I was taught this by my mentors at the newspaper." I'd say, "Well, You know, the market has a mind of its own.
Oh, I love that one. I love that. The market has a mind of its own.
It's like when people would ask me at the track, well, who do you like in the Derby? Now, I never knew who was running in the Derby. I don't care about the Derby.
Right.
Because for me, horse racing is about gambling. It's not a sport. If it's a sport, it's the worst sport in the world. And they'd say, well, who do you like in the Derby? And I'd say, gosh, I just don't think we can beat the favorite this year.
That's it.
Yeah. No idea who the favorite was.
I have no clue.
But they'd say, yeah, no, there's a wise man.
Well, let me deliver the final report on the weather here based on what it says in the Wall Street Journal this morning. It's beautiful outside, but don't expect it to last.
Yeah.
May as well just start doing the weather like that, too.
I told my kids that when they were born.
All right, that's it. That's the show right there. Talk to you tomorrow.